taking the online race broadcast performance to the next level. This is the Full Velocity Network.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Full Velocity Network. Tonight, live at the Kentucky Speedway for the Blazin Pedals Making Strides Against Breast Cancer 300. Tremendous event put on by Tom Richter especially and all the gang over at the Blazin Pedals Racing League, and thrilled to have it aboard here. Full flag-to-flag coverage tonight. 300 miles around the Kentucky Speedway. Going to be a great night here live on the Full Velocity Network. Thank you out there, everybody in YouTube land, for watching us tonight. My name is Phil Lacasse, along with Todd Stanton alongside of the booth. Joe Allen down this evening once again at the controls for the Full Velocity Network. Night 2 for us here, Todd. Back-to-back nights and a special night indeed on hand. Raising money, raising awareness. Beating breast cancer, beating all kinds of cancer here tonight. A great event put on. Tom Richter's done a fabulous job here. The Making Strides Against Breast Cancer 300. It's an honor to be here tonight alongside, partner.
Yeah, definitely an honor to be here tonight at the Blazin Pedals Making Strides Against Breast Cancer 300 here from the Kentucky Motor Speedway. I'm going to be posting the link all evening long down there in the chat box. We're going to be announcing the link and what we've raised so far. I've actually told the guys over there 15 cents for every green flag lap that they complete tonight, so they could earn up to $30, I believe is what it is, a little bit over $30. I could end up donating to Making Strides 300. So we're going to wait and see what these guys do. I'd like to see green to checkered. I'd like to be able to donate as much as I can to this cause. And you never know, I may just donate it anyway. So.
No, absolutely right. It's all for a great cause here. You know, as we've done multiple times before over the years, and for the first time on the Full Velocity Network, cancer awareness. I mean, it got to be out there, guys. Need every dime that go a long way to beat this dreaded disease, and we're just thrilled to be able to do our part alongside Tom and all the guys at BP tonight. A great field of cars on hand, but Joe Allen down in the control booth. We got a long night ahead. A lot of laps here. 3 stages, 210 laps of distance here at Kentucky tonight.
Yes, sir, guys. We are in for the long haul tonight over here at the Blazin Pedals League, and I'm excited. I know you guys are excited. Second show in just about as many days, so I'm certainly excited for it, as I got something coming up on screen. Oops. But anyways, I'm certainly excited for the night. 3 stages. The first 2 stages are both 50 laps, then we have 110 laps to end the last stage, so it's certainly going to be fun. I'm excited. I know a lot of our viewers out there are excited, and it's going to make for one interesting strategy race for how long we're going to be here for.
Yeah, and the Kentucky Speedway always putting on great racing. You know, we've been here a couple times over the years there, Todd, and you can see a lot of great 2-wide racing here tonight. But with a lot of laps, you may not see as much as, as far as side-by-side racing as you think you would normally see at Kentucky. We get a long endurance race here tonight. 300 miles at Kentucky. It's a long way.
Yeah, definitely 300 miles. There's 3 different stages here, 50 laps for stage 1, 50 laps for stage 2, and 110 laps stage 3. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is all going to play out. Pit window 30 to 33 laps there, Phil. It's a fixed setup. And these guys are going to play it pretty precautionary, I would say, here early on in the event. I'm sure they want to pick up some stage points and them stage wins throughout the show here tonight, just to be on the Full Velocity Network and be one of them stage winners. And again, we're going to crown the second official winner here tonight on the Full Velocity Network as we keep continuing on through everything that's going here for the Full Velocity Network. We appreciate everybody out there in YouTube land that's watching us here again this evening as back-to-back shows. And we appreciate all the support that we have had here throughout getting up and going here for the Full Velocity Network. And you guys all know who you are.
Yeah, there's a lot of people to thank out there. You know, we thanked the laundry list of guys last night. We'll do it again here as we get through the end of qualifying for this great event. But a special thanks to Mr. Dave Stanley, all the stuff he's done for us. Dave from NRT Game Servers, you know, stepped up in a big way, helped us out. Also, big thanks to Rich Patton, our protege from our former, endeavor, DRTV, for all the technical support and guidance he's given us. Big thank you to David Day. Great work on the FullVelocityNetwork.com website. You guys haven't been there yet, check that website out. Dave did a flawless, fabulous job. Hats off to Rob Larkin. He did a lot of stuff. He created the logo that we have here on the screen tonight. Also to Martin Cart. She's done a lot of work for the graphics and for us behind the scenes. So hats off and thanks to him. J-Rock, can't forget J-Rock. He's done so much for us as far as stuff going on behind the scenes and helping with our testing and a lot of these great racetracks we're going to see. So, hats off to him. And, of course, I said Dave Stanley again for all the support he's given us and, devotion to what we're doing. I mean, he's been there for us, getting us off the ground. And, hats off to all these guys. And a special thanks to Brian Wolf, that awesome tease video that brings us on the air. He put that together for us a couple of weeks ago. Brian from Fluid Sim Racing Films did an awesome job with that. So to all you guys out there, the list is long, and to everybody else that supported us, all the well wishes, thank you again out there in YouTube land. Gonna have a great show here tonight here, Todd. And looking at the qualifying times come on the board, no surprise at all. You come to Blazin Pedals, you find the 57 of Maverick Morrow. He's gonna kick off this field to the pole here tonight.
I'm definitely going to kick off the field with the pole here this evening. 29.463 around Kentucky. That's kind of motoring around this with this track, and these guys not split up by much. I mean, your outside pole sitter 29.471. So, and that was Michael Berg in that 44 machine. So, gonna be interesting to see how this is all going to play out here this evening. Kentucky's a different style track, a track that's probably not a favorite track of mine. And I'm not sure completely how to get around this track. Obviously, one of the tracks that I struggle at. It's a cookie cutter track, and we're no stranger to finding the wall here at Kentucky Speedway myself. And I'm sure Phil's has some pretty good runs here.
All right, so we get this thing, about 2.5 minutes away from putting this thing on the grid. The Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Awareness 300, getting a little tongue-tied there. Here is got a long night ahead, 210 laps. Of course, a points-paying race for the Blazin Pedals Monster Energy Cup Series here, Joe Allen. And I believe you have an update about their chase grid as it stands coming into this evening.
Yes, we certainly do. A nice graphic provided to us by the guys over at Blazin Pedals. They follow the NASCAR-style chase. They reward you for winning. And that's exactly what we're all about here. So Jesse Klein has already qualified for the chase. Our pole sitter Maverick Morrow obviously is qualified. Matt Watkins, Dakota Wilkins, Matt Narvaez, Craig Meyer, GT Arizari, and Sean Case so far are the guys that have qualified for this. And I believe they're going to reward guys that come in on points as well towards the end of this thing. So far, that's what our chase grid looks like. Moving on, this is the start of the third segment of the Blazin Pedals Monster Energy Cup Series here tonight at the Kentucky Speedway.
As Joe said, the start of segment number 3. These guys do an awesome job breaking it up into segments, and know that chase grid, that's loaded with some good names, and a lot of those that you still haven't seen that are here tonight, but a lot of heavy hitters over here to BP. But guys, we're about to put this thing under the green flag, so before we do that, let's throw it, out trackside and for the playing of tonight's national anthem. All right, the national anthem to get us started here tonight, live on the Full Velocity Network. Thank you out there, everybody, for joining us here tonight. The ultimate esport experience, the new revolution of online sim race broadcast here on the Full Velocity Network. 300 miles here, Todd, around the Kentucky Speedway. The Making Strides Against Breast Cancer 300. Let's dive straight to our starting lineup.
And now your starting lineup for the Making Strides 300 here from the Kentucky Speedway, starting on the pole. Driving the number 57, he hails out of Michigan. That's Maverick Morrow. Outside of him, in that number 44, driving the number 44, of course, Michael Berg from La Quinta, California.
Rolling off of inside row number 2 aboard car number 55 from Freeport, Florida, the Redline Motorsports machine. That is Scott Schroyer. And to his outside aboard car number 15 from Charlotte, North Carolina. Driving a Toyota tonight, that is Matt Watkins.
To your cars.
Next row back, inside row number 3, starting in that 5th starting position, driving the number 4, that's GT Irizarry, and his dancing partner to the outside out of Riverview, Florida, driving the number 9, that's Frank Divins.
Rolling off from the number 88 machine tonight, starting in the 7th position, comes to us from Alabama, the Tide Ride. That number 88 Ford for Craig Meyer, and to his outside aboard car number 34 from Sayreville, New Jersey, the Making Stride Chevrolet. That's Tom Richter.
Inside row number 5, starting in the 9th starting position, driving the number 64 out of Findlay, Ohio. That's Tony Roberson, and outside of him, driving the number 98, that's Brendan Hayes.
Rolling off next on the grid, a new name to us here on the Full Velocity Network from Rose Hill, Virginia, in the MECC Utz Potato Chips Dodge, and car number 40, that'll be Dale Lee, and to his outside.
Start your engine.
Aboard car number 45, there was the command button, the 45 tonight, good buddy there. Familiar name to us, that's Bobby Farrell.
Rhythm all day today.
Driving the number 0, starting at 13, starting position, that is Sean Case. Outside of him, driving the number 47, that's Sonny Tallman.
Rolling off of 15th tonight, we find the 56 machine from Greencastle, Pennsylvania, the Coca-Cola Dodge, that is Adam Samsel, and to his outside, in car number 78 from Sterling, Colorado, the Jet Chevrolet, that's Dakota Wilkins.
Last row on the field, driving the number 43, that's Rich Moore, and outside of him, his dancing partner, the number 2, that's Phil Parker.
Also looks like the 19 of Angie Marsh may be able to join us here this evening. As we'll see if we can. Looks like Angie Marsh did not answer the call here, so looks like we have 18 drivers going to take the green flag here. 210 laps, 3 stages of racing, 50 laps will be the first segment. Caution flag will be displayed after they get to lap 50, but a lot of racing here left to go. 300 miles at Kentucky. We look toward the front row. Maverick Morrow going to start that Wario machine the inside. Outside, you find the 44 of Michael Berg. He's a very fast driver. If anybody's ever seen the 44, he can come to life real quick. We'll have to see what's going to happen. Pace truck is in there. Todd, let's turn this thing under the green flag. What do you say?
Green flag's in the air. Loud pedal is down, and look at the start the 57 of Maverick Morrow has coming down here into turn number 1. Not one of my favorite tracks, I'm going to tell you this, Phil, is Kentucky. I've always struggled here. And now Scott Schroyer drifts up the track just a little bit in that 55 and leaves the door wide open for the bottom side. Oh, we already have a wreck over there in turn number 2 and down the back straightaway too. We have 2 distinct different wrecks already, Phil, here early on in the going.
And not sure what happened there to bring out the first or the second one. I saw the 55 of Scott Schroyer get a little bit loose. Not sure if there was help from the 44 of Michael Berg. Looks like GT Irizarry also getting a piece of that one right on the opening lap, right off the exit of turn number 2. You know, talk about cold tires. See what's going to happen there. So we'll let Joe get sorted out with the replay. But, you know, looks like 2 different things happening there. One happening about mid-pack, one happening right up at the front there, Todd. And, you know, as we say, you get on these cold tires here to start a race, things can get awfully squirrely. And, you know, right off of turn 2 on the opening lap, we got calamity there. Looks like a couple of cars involved. Moderate damage may not be too bad, but, you know, any kind of damage, at least things as far as the nose goes at Kentucky, it can ruin your night in a hurry. That's a shame because, said, 1 lap in, 210's a long time.
Yeah, definitely 210 is a long time, and that's not going to bode well for those guys trying to get those green flag laps. As I said, I pledged 15 cents for every green flag laps they have going there, and it looks like that first incident there, Phil, was towards the back of the pack involving Phil Parker and many others in the back. towards the back portion of that field. So that's a tough break. And the other one was Craig Meyer in the number 9 of Frank Divins, also involved in the other incident. But I'm going to throw it down to Joe Allen down there in the broadcast booth. Joe has a replay queued up. I'm not sure which wreck he's got first for us.
All right, guys, we're going to take a look at the screen here, take a look at our first accident off of turn 2 here. It looks like that's Scott Schroyer up there in the 55 with Michael Berg right behind him in that 44, so we're going to kick this thing in slow motion for you guys. Looks like just a little bit of contact there, got them all swirled around. That got loose, and then we see Frank Divins right there, if you guys look at that. Frank all there. Play that and fast forward here, forward now. Divins gets loose. He comes down the track, gets into the Punisher, Craig Meyer in the 88 machine. That spins those guys around. And looks like we have Adam Samsel in the 56 back there in turn 1 with Sonny Tallman had some issues as well. Back this up to those guys and take a look at that as well. So we'll go check out these guys back this up real quick to Dakota Wilkins. It looks like the 56 of Adam Samsel here in the back gets into a little bit of and just has some issues there. So we're going to throw it back up to you guys.
All right, so multiple different things happening there. 2 distinct different wrecks, one at the front, one at the back. Not sure that was a safe place to be out there, Todd, you know, under the opening lap of the race, under the caution flag, but looks like it's going to be a quickie. Looks like lights may be out on the pace car, and we're going to turn this thing back under green flag conditions. Hopefully we can get more than 2 corners this time.
Yeah, hopefully we do get more than 2 corners. I think just a little bit of edge to trying to be on TV here this evening. And like I said, this is not one of my favorite tracks, Phil, and I'll say that pretty much all broadcast long. I struggle here, and I probably would have caused the first yellow also, and I probably would have parked myself by now because I just struggle with this track. It's just a track that I've never been able to tame or ever been able to run on. So, but it's nice to watch a race here. I mean, it's a beautiful facility.
Well, I have a completely different take on that, Todd. I'm a guy who's actually run well at Kentucky over the years. I put some of my strongest runs together, so one of my most favorite racetracks. Yes, it's a single groove racetrack. You really got to be patient with, you know, the guys around you. Save your equipment, save your tires. Something I kind of do well. I'm not one of those guys who likes to go to the front, charge up there if I can get up there at all. And, you know, I like the feel of a long run at a place like this. You can really do some damage in a long run, and I like the Kentucky Speedway, so we're going to see what we're going to take here. 4 laps on the board. Thought we were going to get a green flag last time around. The lights came back on the pace car, so going to go at least one more time around. Hope they go out this time by. I'd love to see these guys under green flag conditions with this updating, you know. Kind of this where we left it here on the start. Maverick Morrow, our pole sitter, he's going to maintain our lead. GT Irizarry now worked his way to second there. That number 4 Ford, one of the best paint jobs out there, is GT always has here anytime we see him. Matt Watkins going to be currently 3rd. Toby Robertson 4th. Bobby Farrell going to run at your top 5. Brendan Hayes currently 6th to 98. That's a new name for us as well. Scott Schroyer, Michael Berg, Dakota Wilkins, and Craig Meyer. That's going to be your current top 10. Looks like, Todd, we're going to get the green flag next time around.
Yeah, it looks like we are indeed going to get the green flag as lights are extinguished atop that pace car. Down the back straight, we had to borrow another pace car here this evening. The other one kind of, I'm not sure what Joe did to it. I think he blew it up here when we were trying to drive to here, and I think that's going to be another rental cost that we're going to have entered into the FVN bill. So we'll have to see how that goes. But right now, Maverick Morrow is your current race leader, like you said, Phil. And in that 57 machine, we've only had probably about a half a track green flag run so far. But GT Irizarry is running in that 2nd spot. 3rd is Matt Watkins. Tony Robertson is 4th. 5th is Bobby Farrell. Brendan Hayes, Scott Schroyer, Michael Berg, Dakota Wilkins, and Craig Meyer. That rounds out your top 10. Getting ready to put that hammer down one more time here at the Kentucky Speedway. Just waiting on that flagger to throw that green flag. And he's still waiting here a little bit longer than normal. Green flag is in the air. GT Irizarry gets a good start. Look like Maverick Morrow a little bit delayed on the start in that number 57 machine. Put GT Irizarry to the lead in that number 4.
It looks like the 57 just timed that restart wrong. Looks like he got a little bit on it, and that flagger did not want to throw the green, so looks like he was a little bit delayed, but he gets on the gas pedal hard here, Todd. Looks like he'll reassert the race lead at the exit of turn 2. Move the 15 to Matt Watkins now up to that 2nd spot. Toby Robertson, that number 64, moved that Fox Toyota up to the 3rd position, all chasing our race leader, Maverick Morrow, down the front stretch toward turn 1.
Yeah, Maverick Morrow leading down into turn number 1. Matt Watkins all over his rear bumper there momentarily. Now Morrow able to stretch it out just a couple of car lengths over the 15 of Matt Watkins. In that third spot is Tony Robertson in that number 64 machine. GT Rosari slid back to that fourth spot, but here comes Toby down to the bottom side in that 64 machine. He's making a run on it with the number 15 of Matt Watkins there, side by side through turn number 4. Here down the front straightaway, still side by side across the start finish line. I think it's going to be Tony Robertson in that number 64 machine. I believe he's going to be, no, it's actually going to be Matt Watkins just barely in front of him.
Yeah, they're still side by side through turns number 1 and 2. Thinking, the 64 down low, I would think how much longer can he afford to be down there and maybe abuse his tires? Is Matt Watkins using less tire running the outside lane? Kentucky usually goes about a lane and a half. Sometimes you'll see a second group some in, so I have to see what's going to happen here. A long race indeed. 8 laps now, 9 going up on the scoreboard. 50 laps making up this first segment. 3 segments of racing here tonight. The Blazin Pedals Monster Energy Cup Series using the stage racing, the new NASCAR format. Race on the Speedway, Todd around for that 5th spot. The 98 of Brendan Hayes is there, but Michael Berg looking to pick up the top 5 position off of turn 2.
Yeah, Michael Berg was down on the bottom side in that number 44 machine there momentarily. As Brendan Hayes still working over the top side of the speedway in that number 98 machine. He's able to get one whale of a run off the corner. The 44 Michael Berg has been able to run on the bottom side, but not able to close the deal on there. Trying to slide up in front of him, now trying to do the same thing, running a little bit deeper there into 1 and 2. He's going to be able to close the door on the number 98. Put the 44 Michael Berg to 5th.
Yeah, put him up to 5th. Meanwhile, back to the front of the field, just updating what's going on there. A race for the lead has transpired. The 15 of Matt Watkins using the low side. Looks like he may complete the pass over the Maverick Morrow machine off of turn number 4. Trying to clear him. Not quite going to do so. They're going to be door-to-door, Todd, through turn 1.
Yeah, door-to-door, but Matt Watkins going to slide up in front of the 57 of Maverick Morrow. Now put Matt Watkins there clearly in front of the 57 of Maverick Morrow. Watkins now to the lead in that number 15 machine. Tony Robertson in that 64 machine, still hanging on to the 3rd spot. GT Rosari still 4th. 5th is the 44 Michael Berg. Brendan Hayes is 6th. 7th is Craig Meyer. 8th is Adam Samsel. 9th, Scott Schroyer. And running out your top 10, Dale Lee in that number 40 machine.
Dale Lee in the 40 running at your top 10 as the field working its way through turns number 1 and 2. All chasing now the 15 of Matt Watkins there. Does Maverick Morrow have one more run there? That's racing in the top 2 down the backstretch.
Yeah, just there's quite a bit of good racing through the back straightaway here. Just looking through the field, trying to find the battle through here. And so far I've not. It's pretty much strung out there. Tom Richter right now starting to run down the number 40 of Dale Lee. Tom Richter running in that 11th position. He was segment 2 winner here for the Blazin Pedals. So he did win segment 2 in that number 34 machine. That was Tom Richter. 12th right now is Dakota Wilkins. 13th is the 47 of Sonny Tallman. Frank Divins is 14th. Phil Parker is 15th. 16th is Bobby Farrell. Sean Case already behind the wall in that number 0 machine. Tough break for Sean Case. I know he was looking forward to this race here this evening, but already out of this event in that number 0 machine behind the wall.
Yeah, the 0, Sean Case behind the wall, unfortunately, but all chasing our race leader, Matt Watkins, who turn number 3 and 4 is having some glitches there on my end, getting back all sorted out. Top 3 right where we left him. There's helpless feeling, and you look up and, all the polygons on the screen disappear and, just crashed completely out of what I'm looking at, so I had to reboot that up real quick, but looks like we're all, back for the go. Watkins the 15, the leader, about 2 or 3 car lengths there on the Maverick Morrow machine. Right behind him on the assault, the 64 of Toby Robertson, Todd. He's going to look for running room down low, maybe pull alongside as they go through turn 2.
Yeah, here Robertson just get out of the throttle just slightly in that number 64 machine, trying to roll the bottom in that 64, trying to get around with the 57 of Maverick Morrow. Maverick right now is running in that 2nd spot, but the 64 Tony Robertson still running in 3rd, trying to get around the number 57 of Maverick Morrow, not able to do so through turn number 4 down the front straightaway. Now Tony Robertson in the 64 peeks back down to the bottom side. They're side by side here coming down into turn 1. Maverick Morrow stuck up on the top side. Ken Robertson pull off the pass here coming through 1 and 2.
Yeah, looks like this time he may complete the pass. No, maybe that's premature. 57 getting a great launch off the outside lane. Kind of puzzled by that. I thought we'd seen a low side be dominant here through these early stages of the race, but I am, very, very dead wrong. The 57 not giving up. But those two guys racing side by side, Todd, that's what the guys in the 4th and 5th spot into the battle. GT Irizarry, Michael Berg, they have run down. That's a 5-car breakaway now at the front of the field, exiting turn 2, still racing for that 2nd spot.
Yeah, Michael Berg making some strides here in this race, and that number 44 machine, it's Berg, really has run down the number 4 of GT Irizarry. Irizarry right now in the 4th spot. 5th is Michael Berg in that number 44 machine. But like I said, he's ran down these top 4 guys from quite a ways back. Berg was your outside pole sitter, did come down pit road here early on in the going in that yellow flag.
Nope, he certainly did. Came down, got it fresh, and now he's going to be back on the assault again. But now, Matt Watkins, Todd, looking like he's able to drive away just a little bit from these guys, able to maintain a nice steady diet of a lead as they head down the backstretch toward turn 3. Now, yellow flag going to be on the speedway. Yellow flag for the 2nd time tonight. I'm not sure what happened out there around the speedway, seeing a couple cars rolling slow down through the backstretch, so not sure something going on there. We'll let Joe go back and get all sorted out with a replay. But, Todd, not sure you got a first look at it. I saw the 45 of Bobby Farrow rolling along slow, but looking like he was clean. So not sure if you saw something happening. Might have been up near the front of the field, or middle of the field, rather.
Oh, it looked like Adam Samsel, something went wrong with the 56 machine of Adam Samsel. It looked like maybe he slowed down into the corner entry just a little bit, and the 98 caught a piece of him. That ensued some more cars spinning there, trying to let off and trying to make sure that they were missing that number 56 of Adam Samsel, who were sitting in the middle of the track. So we'll just have to wait and see what Joe Allen sees down there. And Joe is indeed ready down there. Joe, show everybody down there in YouTube land what you can see here.
Yes, sir. We are ready down here in the booth, guys. We're going to focus our attention on that number 98 machine of Brendan Hayes and the number 56 of Adam Samsel here. Throw this thing in fast forward replay here for you guys. It just looks like the 98 goes through the center of the corner there, gets on the throttle a lot quicker than the 56 does, and just runs right into the back of him, puts that 56 up into the wall, and now he's got himself a brand new Dodge Charger hatchback edition. So unfortunate for Adam Samsel there, a lot of heavy rear end damage. It looks like the 55 of Scott Schroer had some trouble down there halfway down the backstretch as well. I see that 40 of Bobby Farrell or Dale Lee, I'm sorry, the 40 of Dale Lee had some trouble off the corner as well. So couple different isolated incidents, but definitely the main cause of the incidents with some chain reactions was that contact between Brendan Hayes and the 56 there of Adam Samsel. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Definitely a tough break for the 56 of Adam Samsel. Samsel heavy rear end damage aboard that number 56. Going to have to see what that's going to do for him. I'm sure that's going to be an extremely loose race car. But I'm going to throw it down to Phil Lacasse. I believe he's got one of our drivers on the radio. Phil, who do we have tonight?
Well, the guy responsible for getting us out here tonight is making strides against breast cancer 300. Of course, that's our friend Tom Richter, who did so much work. Tom, it's Phil from Full Velocity, buddy. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Phil. How are you tonight?
We're doing fantastic, man. Thank you so much for having us out here this evening. A tremendous event here, raising awareness to beat breast cancer, and just a disease that's touched every one of our hearts in one way, shape, or form. And this race, very personal for you here tonight. I know you've told us a great story, but for our viewers out there who may not know the whole story, give them a little bit of feedback here. What brings us to this race here tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I appreciate you guys coming out here doing this. Last year, March 2016, my mother was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. So we went through the whole treatment. We went through the whole treatments and all that, and the surgeries. And so last October, we did our first Making Strides Against Breast Cancer walk in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. We raised $611 as our team, and so as it stands right now, we've raised more than that just from everybody banding here together in this community. Really appreciate everybody doing this.
Yeah, we're going to flash that link out there all night, raising awareness, collecting money. All the funds go a long way, and said cancer is something that's touched every one of our lives in one way, shape, or form. If it's breast cancer or any kind of cancer out there, I think all of us have come to know what the shredded disease is. So every dime we can raise goes a long way. But Tom, a great event we have here tonight. A great strong field of race cars. How's the racing out there so far through the first 20 laps?
The racing's really good. Matt Watkins, Toby Robertson, myself, a couple of the Red Line Motorsports guys, they all really pitched in and helped us out with the setup here. We got a really good setup out here tonight. I think everybody's enjoying it. And tires are definitely something we need to watch, but you know, it's definitely a racy track, and we feel like we're going to be able to put on a great show for Full Velocity Network.
You guys will certainly put on a great show indeed. Well, Tom, I'm going to let you get back to it with the lights out on the face car, but thanks again for having us this evening. A great noble cause. We're going to flash that link out there all night, and all going to raise money here and band together. And thanks for a couple minutes of your time. Thanks for all the great efforts, and good luck out there and have some fun out on the racetrack tonight. We'll be cheering for you, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate everything you're doing out here tonight for us.
All right, it's Tom Richter, guy, so responsible for getting us out here this evening, get a lot of work behind the scenes, and even better when you get to go out there, you put all the work into an event like this, a personal trying story, go out there and have some fun on the racetrack, Todd. It's a very therapeutic thing to do, and, hats off to all these guys, hats off to everybody out there who's donated, that continues to donate, as Todd flashes that link up there on the screen, taking donations all night long, so every little bit going a long way, and big thanks to all these guys out here for participating in the chat box, Todd. It's an awesome event here.
Yeah, definitely an awesome event here, and I'd like to see some more guys make some donations. I know Jamie Tedder out there in the chat box, Bob Tompkins Sr. made some of the donations here just recently to the making strides in that organization of what's going on there. We're getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing though here on the track. The 57 of Maverick Morrow and Matt Watkins setting the pace here, leading them down to get to Green Flag. We're just waiting on the flagger. Green Flag is in the air. Again, Maverick Morrow just a little bit slower of a start there on the bottom. It looks like it takes a little bit for him to get up and going in that 57 machine. But alongside of him, the 15 of Matt Watkins. Third is the 4 of GT Irizarry. Michael Berg is fourth. Fifth is Tony Robinson in that 64 machine. Craig Meyer, the Punisher, up to that 6th spot in that number 88 machine. Here comes Michael Berg. I believe that's Michael Berg in that 44 machine. Look at the pass on the outside. Michael Berg getting around the 57 of Matt Memorial here just momentarily.
Yeah, it was a power move to the outside. Looks like he may make that work off of turn number 4. Looks like he may just have enough momentum on the outside lane to cool at 57. Maverick not going to push the issue. He's going to fall back in line, but a power surge there by Michael Berg. He's going to try to chase down our race leader now, Matt Watkins. 3-2 the East right there, Todd. We're going to have a race for the lead here by the time we get to turn 3.
Yeah, Michael Berg now about 2 car lengths in between himself and Matt Watkins, now down to a car length up to his rear bumper. Michael Berg now to the outside. He's running up on the top side now. High-low switch for Michael Berg down the front straightaway here. Side by side with Matt Watkins. Put Michael Berg to the lead.
And for the first time tonight, the 44, a rocket ship on the restart. Restarted 4th and all the way now up to the race lead. A tremendous restart by Michael, and now he'll pace the field. Matt Watkins fall back in line. Maverick Morrow about 5 or 6 car lengths back in the 3rd spot. Got a couple of car lengths difference between him and 4th place GT Irizarry, who's got a mirrorful to 64 of Toby Robertson. Those guys are there as well. Great racing inside the top 5 as they head toward turn 1.
Yeah, Robinson at number 64 machine all over the rear bumper of GT Irizarry trying to get around him. He looks like a really good long run machine in that number 64 machine. We'll just have to wait and see if Tony Robinson here later in this run can get around GT Irizarry and then set his sights on those top 3 guys once again. Looks like it's battle starting to heat up once again for the lead. The 15 of Matt Watkins down on the bottom side trying to make some ground up on that 44 of Michael Berg. Berg been running the top shelf of the speedway in that number 44.
Yeah, the 15 trying to find that vacant pavement down on the low side of the racetrack, and looking like he's once again going to make that run. Not going to have the momentum to carry him up to the lead, but further on back there, Todd, great race going on for that 4th spot. GT Irizarry has it. Toby Robertson in that pink and white Fox Toyota, he keeps peeking to the low side. He was alongside there about a quarter ago, fell back in line, but keep an eye on that race for 4th. It's heating up there down the front straightaway.
Yeah, definitely heating up there between those 2 drivers. But I'm also been keeping an eye on those top 2 drivers also, as Michael Berg still running the top side, and Matt Watkins way down on the bottom. 2 distinct different groups here at the Kentucky Speedway for these drivers so far. And right now, both of them working pretty well for those 2 guys. But Matt Watkins not able to make up much on the bottom side of the speedway in that 15 machine, and now almost up alongside Michael Berg, but Berg's going to motor away here on the front straightaway, on the top group. He's able to stay in the throttle longer, and it's kind of like a power move for that 44 machine, just showing the muscle up on the top side.
Yeah, he certainly is, but here comes the 15 back to the low side, and something I'm seeing there, Todd, that top 5, breaking away from the field. I'm sure Joe can, display here in the picture he's got. You can see these guys all running 5 different distinct styles through the corners. Some guys charging through the high side, some guys diving it down low, some guys running the middle of the racetrack, and they're changing their approach to the corner, mid-corner, and exit of the corner. So 5 distinct strategies, but looking like it's working up front for Michael Berg. Also working for the 64 of Toby Robertson, Todd. He's up to 4th, and he's on the prowl. He's chasing Maverick Morrow down. We may have a battle for 3rd by the time we get to turn 3.
They definitely may have a battle for that 3rd spot here if we get to turn number 3 here. Is Maverick Morrow down on the bottom side. Here comes Tony Robinson and onto the bottom side in the 64 machine. Not able to get around him, but Maverick Morrow almost up to the wall. Robinson has to get out of the throttle just a little bit, but Maverick Morrow drifts up the track. Here comes Robinson. Put him into 3rd just slightly here into turn number 3. But now Maverick Morrow battling back on the high side. He's not going to go away in the 57.
Oh, and I'm not sure what's happening there, if the tires are falling off a little bit, but Namrick got a great one on the outside line, so he'll hold on to position number 3. Battle for the top spot now, working off of turn 4. Watkins finding his way back to the low side. Michael Berg stuck up high. Looks like the 15, Todd, he may have our lead this time around.
He does, as they flash by the start-finish line, put Matt Watkins to the lead by .035 over the 44 of Michael Berg. Maverick Morrow still holding on to that 3rd spot. Tony Robertson is still in 4th. In that 64 machine, GT Irizarry 5th. Frank Divins now up to the 6th spot. Frank Divins having a pretty good run. That number 9 machine. The 98 of Brendan Hayes is 7th. 8th is Craig Meyer. 9th is Tom Richter. And 10th right now is Dakota Wilkins in that 78 machine. So that's a top 10. But Michael Berg now battling back on the high side. Give Michael Berg the lead this time as they flash by the stripe. Put Matt Watkins back to 2nd.
Yeah, and Maverick Morrow gave on the 44 a great push to the high side, but now as they hit turn 1 and 2, Watkins using the low side, he's got the momentum, he'll slide back up for the race lead. Battle is now for that 3rd spot, the 64 down low, the 57 up high, side by side for the lead, side by side for 3rd. Todd, they are battling all over this mile and a half Kentucky Speedway.
Yeah, they're putting on quite a race here at the Kentucky Speedway. Is Robinson down on the bottom side. Here comes GT Irizarry to the fray. He wants himself some positions in that number 4 machine. Not able to do so here through this corner. Trying to follow, I believe, Tony Robinson around the 57 Maverick Morrow. Morrow still not going away in that 57 machine. Really working that high line to his perfection. Here comes GT Irizarry. Now to the top side here. Coming into turn number 3, trying to work with Maverick Morrow there that time by. Not going to pay off. Still Robinson in that 4th spot.
And I got to ask the question of Joe. Joe, being a guy who's been, around Kentucky for thousands of laps and guy who usually runs strong in a mile and a half type race, seeing the way these guys are approaching this racetrack, how do you think these guys are faring in the way of tire wear? What do you think the preferred group is right now?
I've raced a lot of different versions of Kentucky, and tire wear is something that, it varies and differs from track combo to track combo. So I got to imagine these guys are using a bunch of tire wear, probably doing.
You probably got to assume so. And I'm not sure how much you've paid an observation there, Todd, of how these guys are charging the racetrack. They're starting to all drift down to the low side of the track now, but about 5 or 10 laps ago, you saw these guys, the entire top 5 are running different sides of the racetrack. So as we say that, we'll put a period on that. Caution flag going to be on the Speedway. Caution flag for the 3rd time tonight.
That caution flag for the 3rd time out on the Kentucky Speedway. Not sure what happened to bring out this yellow flag. I'm trying to look through the field and see. It looks like Phil Parker in the number 2. He's around. Unfortunately, the 2 of Phil Parker, it looks like something happened. He maybe was trying to miss a fray that happened in front of him. I know he was down into the inside wall. I believe the 47 of Sonny Tallman also involved as a tough break for those guys, those 2 drivers. I know Phil Parker nosed it into the outside wall pretty hard.
No, he certainly did. And, looks like damage there to the 2 of the 47 going around, just about a dozen laps or so short of, the conclusion of stage number 1. That's going to allow these guys all to come to pit road, all take fresh tires. What do you think, Todd, knowing that stage points are on the line? Anybody going to play a gamble of maybe staying out and stretching this and maybe trying to steal a stage win? They're probably going to have about 10 laps to go when this stage expires.
I see everybody down on pit road, Phil. I don't think you'll see anybody gamble. That's pretty tough. They've been running a pretty good stint of green flag runs here, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. So these guys coming down the pit road, I believe you're going to see them take 4 tires instead of 2 tires. You might see a 2-tire gamble. That's something you may see here. We're just waiting to see as Maverick Morrow on the 57 machine now running. down into his pit stall. Right side tires going on the 57 machine. Is he going to make 2 tires to call or 4 tires in that number 57 machine? It looks like it's going to be 4 tires as left side is jacked up. The left sides are going on the car. He's down and away.
Looking like 4 tires for about everybody on pit road. The 64 of Toby Robertson, Maverick Morrow, 4 tires. Michael Berg, Frank Divins, Craig Meyer on this end of pit road. All these guys, 4 tire work. Everybody looking like they're all clean. They're all down and away. They'll rejoin the race here in the backstretch under the caution flag.
That's under the caution flag. It looks like Michael Berg going to beat them all off the pit road in that number 44 machine. Going to have to wait for timing and scoring to reset here, so we can give you a full field rundown here at the Kentucky Speedway before we get to the end of stage 1 and see who our stage 1 winner is going to absolutely be here. It's been a toss up here. These top 5 guys have been all pretty quick and all have led some laps here at the Kentucky Speedway, but right now it is Michael Berg in that 44. He will be your current race leader when we go back to green flag racing. I believe the 15, it is indeed the 15 of Matt Watkins. He is going to be second on the grid. Maverick Morrow is third. Fourth is the 64 of Tony Robinson. Fifth is the 4 of GT Irizarry. Sixth is the number 9 of Frank Divins. Seventh is the Punisher, Craig Meyer, in the 88 machine. Eighth is the 34, Tom Richter. Ninth, the 78 of Dakota Wilkins. 10th, the 55 of Scott Schroyer. Brendan Hayes in the number 98. He is 11th. 12th is the 40 of Dale Lee. 13th is the 45 of Bobby Farrell. 14th is the 56 of Adam Samsel. 15th is the 15th is the 2 of Phil Parker. 16th is the 47 of Sonny Tallman. And 17th is the 0 of Sean Case, already retired and out of this event. He's behind the wall.
He's behind the wall. Just awaiting the word from Joe that he's ready here for the full velocity replay. Check out our brand new shining website, night number 2 for us on the air, fullvelocitynetwork.com. A great website. So many new widgets there, things to look at. Check out our broadcast rates. I think everybody out there will be pleased to see what we got to offer. The ultimate esport experience, the new revolution of online sim race broadcast, the Full Velocity Network here, live and in living color. Reach out to us, looking to do all kind of sims. Of course, we butter our bread in the NASCAR racing 2-on-3 community. Also looking to branch out toward iRacing, maybe some R-Factor, anything out there you may be racing, any simming at all, any kind of, esport activity, if it's League of Legends and stuff. I think we're all looking to get into different avenues. So anybody out there within the sound of our voice who'd like to outreach to new markets, hit up some new things and diversify the portfolio. If you got at the showcase, we would love to give you the maximum impact exposure out there. The Full Velocity Network, fullvelocitynetwork.com. Todd, looking at this great speedway here tonight, the Kentucky Speedway, the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Awareness 300, now slowed by the 3rd caution flag. Less than 10 laps to go till the end of stage number 1. All our leaders have come to pit road. They've got fresh tires, full of fuel, so we're going to see some awesome racing here through these next 10 laps.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here for this last 10 laps for this stage. The 44 of Michael Berg, who's going to be here in 10 laps? Is it going to be Michael Berg? Is it going to be the 15 of Matt Watkins? Are they going to really get hot and heavy for the stage win and try to get themselves with that get themselves some extra points here in this chase?
Oh, absolutely right. Every point in the chase helps, so we'll have to see where it's going to go. Who's going to get these coveted points here? Pace car finding its way onto pit road. Michael Berg, Matt Watkins, Maverick Morrow, Toby Robertson, GT Irizarry. Frank Divins makes up your top 3 rows. Pace car is in. Green flag is in the air.
Green flag is in the air. Michael Berg gets a good restart, although I believe the 57 got just as good as a restart right behind Michael Berg, as now he is going through with the lead. The 15 of Matt Watkins, not so good of a restart. He is now still in that 2nd spot. Yellow flag going to fly once again out there on the speedway.
Something happening there. I saw smoke. I heard tires squealing. Trying to find where something may have happened there. I saw the 64 of Toby Robertson all sorts of loose. Not sure if the yellow was out before that or not, or what exactly happened there. I saw the 78 Dakota Wilkins sliding into the picture. Seeing almost 3 wide there. Cars all sorts of out of shape and around. So stuff happening there. Give Joe a point of reference. A lot of stuff going on. This looks like hiccup on the restart there, Todd. Just as we get to the exit here. A little less than 10 laps remaining here in stage 1.
Yeah, a little less than 10 laps remaining here in stage one, where we're going to see these guys come down and take some more tires here. I'm not sure that you're going to see them. I think they're going to get through the stage, and then you'll see them maybe come down on pit road. But tough break for I believe the 55 of Scott Schroyer now. He's out of this race, Phil. He's behind the wall. Scott Schroyer, the sidewinder in that 55 machine, behind the wall here at the Kentucky Speedway. I'm sure that's not the way he wanted to end his night.
Sure, it certainly isn't. He's going to finish up 16th tonight, but Joe Allen, Sticky Keys, not your friend. I believe you've got a full velocity replay ready for us this time around, though.
Sticky Keys, certainly not my friend this evening, but hopefully we got that fixed. Only time will tell. We're going to kick this thing back to our replay here. We're going to focus our attention on the 40 of Dale Lee and the 98 of Brendan Hayes right behind him. Kick this thing forward for you guys. Brendan Hayes gets a huge run through the corner on the restart. That just loops the 40 of Dale Lee around right up into the fence, collects Bobby Farrell in the 45. I see the number 2 machine. That's Phil Parker back there having some issues. I saw a couple other cars back there having a couple issues as well, guys. So without any air pressure built up into them, and unfortunately stuff like this happens. It looks like the 40 just kind of taking it easy through there, and the 98 just came boring through there with a head of steam, trying to make up as many positions as he could, and just runs right into the back of them, and carnage ensues. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, great job, Joe, getting that all sorted out back right for us. Great job with the replay. You know, anytime I hear the words Joe come out of my ear and say, oh, what an issue, something good going on down there, and great job with the replay there. Third caution flag of the night. Third caution of stage number 1. 43 laps of 210. 50 laps make up this first stage. So about 7 laps remaining in this thing. We saw everybody coming through the last caution flag there, Todd, taking, tires and a full load of fuel. Seeing these guys basically all staying out this time. So, thinking maybe a half a lap of heat cycle on the tires, these guys going to be fine. The question is, these cold tires at Kentucky, how do you think these things will sync up on the restart?
I think they'll be fine. It seems like these guys have pretty much nailed it. Maverick Morrow seems to have a little bit of an issue on the bottom side here. He kind of restarts kind of soft in that 57 machine, but the 44 of Michael Berg, he's been right on it, and he's been actually pretty quick there on the bottom on the restart, which is surprising because it seems like anybody that's been on the bottom or stuck on the bottom has gave way to the guy on the top side of this restart. So I'm thinking there's a little bit more grip up on the top side, and that's probably where I would want to be on a restart there, Phil.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right. I think the top side probably where I want to be in the restart. Maybe not to the exit of 2, though. I'm thinking I want to try to drive up, turn that thing left, and see if it'll cut down to the bottom of the racetrack. So we'll see what these guys do on the restart. Light still on atop the pace van, or the pace car, rather. Years we've said van. I can't get van out of my head. Old habits dying hard. Pace car here tonight. We put a project out to our friends in the chat box last night about getting a new pace vehicle out there, and a couple of cool things happening today. I think we're going to have some pretty neat surprises coming up here through the next couple of weeks. I think a sweet new deal we're going to have here, the pace vehicle on the Full Velocity Network, something we're going to call near and dear and our very own, something I don't think anybody's ever seen before. So I think it's going to be really, really neat. So keep an eye out for that over the next couple of weeks. A full schedule of events coming up in the next couple of months, guys. We of course, we pay a visit to TDR here in a couple of weeks. We go back over to SMO Hardcore again real soon. A couple of great races coming up there through the next couple of months. Visits, of course, to the SRA Super Truck Series here at Blazin Pedals here tonight. Leagues have been reaching out to us wanting to get their league all scheduled out there. So, guys, you're out there. Book your date now. Dates are filling up fast. We'd love to come over and showcase everything you got going on. The ultimate esport experience is right here on the Full Velocity Network. We'll be thrilled to come aboard. Todd, Joe, myself, showcase all the fantastic things you've got your league doing, just like we're doing at Blazin Pedals here tonight. A fantastic league. The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series runs here every Thursday night following the Cup schedule. Of course, here, Sunday night they roll out with the Xfinity Series, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Monday nights, the Blazin Pedals Super Speedway Series. Wednesday night, the Camping World Truck Series at 9 p.m. So a lot of great stuff going on. BlazinPedals.com. Todd, awaiting the restart here. I believe the pace car is in. Let's turn this thing back under the green flag. A 4-lap shootout to settle stage 1.
That green flag is in the air, and Michael Berg this time having a little bit of an issue on the bottom. Look at Matt Watkins there, pulling up on the top side. Can he complete the pass down here into 1 and 2? Not going to be able to do so. Berg has the preferred line down here through 2, down the back straightaway. Berg is still maintaining the lead, but Matt Watkins fighting back. Watkins now back to the lead there, side by side, coming to turn number 3.
Side by side for the lead to turn number 3 and 4. Berg down to the low side. Watkins the 15. He's going to be playing it up high. Does he have the momentum push? Not thinking he got the run he thought he was going to get. Here comes Maverick Morrow. That number 57 Oreo Chevrolet looking to the low side. Maybe a 3-car tango, Todd. Almost 3 wide off of turn 2.
Yeah, almost 3 wide off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Maverick Morrow looking for a way around. He wants this stage win in that number 57 machine. He's waiting for one of these guys to make a mistake. Berg working on the bottom side, working that to perfection. The 44, now he drifts up the track. Kind of a wee bit of a push there. And the 44 of Michael Berg. Berg still going to lead this time by now. A battle heating up for that second spot. The 57 of Maverick Morrow now up alongside the 15 of Matt Watkins.
He's alongside. He is there. Is he going to have running room to make that position happen at the exit of that second corner? Looking like the 57 getting a little bit loose on the low side. The 15 able to motor on around. Looks like he may put the 57 in the rearview mirror. Well, maybe not. Look at that 57 of Morrow back to the inside. He's going to fall back in line. All chasing Michael Berg there, Todd. Yellow flags out on the speedway.
Yeah, yellow flag going to fly once again here out at the Kentucky Speedway. Going to have to see who that, what brought out that yellow flag. Not sure what happened. I see Sonny Tallman real slow on the Speedway. I'm not sure if there's some other cars out there on the Speedways. So there's something, turn 3. I know Sonny Tallman was real slow. I'm not sure if he was involved. Did not quite catch up to that one. So we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen with this stage and see who's going to win the stage.
I'm thinking this will put the end of the stage here as a roll up on lap 50, so they'll probably call this the end of stage 1, but I think Joe's hit it right on the head. Entering 3 and exit out of 4, looking like where all the calamity started there. The 47 certainly involved. That, of course, Sonny Tallman. Not sure if he had help or maybe just got a little bit loose, but it was definitely interesting. There are a lot of pink machines here tonight, of course, as we raise awareness for breast cancer here this evening, but you know, a couple different cars there around in the wrong direction. And, you know, for sure, Todd, this is going to be the egg of segment 1. So give Michael Berg those segment points here to end this segment. So we'll put the cap on that here for a second as we get ready for stage 2. But let's see how stage 1 ended there. Joe's got the replay ready for us. So, Joe, take it away.
Yes, sir. I'm ready with our replay again here at the Kentucky Speedway. We're going to focus our attention on that, we'll say a shade lighter than the 98 pink car. The black and pink car, the 47, that's Sonny Tallman, doesn't have any help. We thought maybe Dakota Wilkins might have gave him a little help spinning him around, but he actually gets just a little bit loose on his own here, as you guys can see. Gets down on the apron, that whirls him around. He comes right back up into traffic here just a little bit. It doesn't look like anybody else hits him, though, maybe. Oh, nope, there's the unfortunate bystander, Bobby Farrell, guys. Tough luck for that number 45 machine. He goes through the grass there, mowing a little bit, helping the gardeners out there at Kentucky Speedway. So Sonny Tallman just a little bit loose on his own, guys, and causes a 2-car pileup as a result. Back up to you in the booth.
All right, so we'll put a cap there. Segment 1 going to be won by Michael Berg, the 44. Let's see if we can't talk to the winner of segment 1 here. Segment racing, something all new to us here, you know, in the NASCAR circles here so far in 2017. So let's see if we can't get the driver of the 44 up on the horn. Michael Berg, fill the cast on the Full Velocity Network, buddy. Got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Michael, congratulations there, winning segment 1. Tell us about the racing out there through his first 50 laps. I did see some yellow flags, but what we saw of green flag racing, it was certainly intense between you and Matt and Maverick up there. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, well, the racing was pretty good, fairly clean up front. Looks like the guys in the back are crashing, but that's about what you'd expect. Matt and Maverick are both very good drivers, so it's fun to race with them. And yeah, we're having a good run. Glad to get the stage win.
Now, where do you think through this evening, what do you think the preferred line is going to be? Because watching you guys all inside the top 5, you all had 5 unique different ways of charging the corner, be it on the very bottom, to the very top, or even in the middle, and all changing lines, you know, exiting the corner with a whole different kind of radius out there. So where do you think the preferred line is going to be around this track as we get deeper into this thing?
Well, I tried desperately not to let my tires melt, so I run a little higher than some people. Some people seem to have magic tires. They can run wherever they want. I have to run up high. That's not going to be the preferred line. I think if you can keep it down low and keep the tires on it, you're probably going to end up winning, but I had a short run at the end, and I'm just straight up faster than everyone else on a short run, so if the tires are not a question, I could beat anybody.
All right, man. Well, congratulations once again on stage number 1. A lot of racing here left to go, so we'll let you get back to it. But maybe we'll talk to you again here later on this evening. Good luck the rest of the night there, Michael.
Thanks. I'll talk to you again soon.
All right, Michael Berg out there in the 44. Says he has to run there, Todd, in the short run. Definitely get a fast car in the short run. The question is, to the long run, does he have the motor to keep those guys behind him there? He's a guy who said he don't like to burn those tires off, so you think he's going to have that long stamina power there, especially when we get to, say, segment 3, which is 110 laps in distance?
He definitely thinks he has the car to win this race here tonight, just by that interview we just had with him. So, I mean, you have to kind of go with Michael Berg. He's been fast on the short run there. So we're going to have to wait and see what Michael Berg has in store for us. It's going to be interesting. He's starting towards the back here in that 44. Let's see how fast he can make it up to the front.
Yeah, and I guess confidence, Joe Allen, something good to have behind the wheel of the race car. Ain't that right, bud?
Absolutely. Confidence is key to winning races, and I love it. I'm a huge fan of Michael Berg and his confidence, and you know what? He's been fast and competitive, but guys, that pace car's off. I'm going to throw it up to you.
All right, so we get ready for segment 2 to begin here. Maverick Morrow, Matt Watkins going to restart with the front row. Frank Divins, GT Arizari, row 2. Tom Richter, Dakota Wilkins, Toby Robertson, Craig Meyer, Brendan Hayes, Michael Berg. That's going to be your top 10. Green flag in the air.
Green flag is in the air. The 57 of Maverick Morrow leads the charge down into turn number 1. The 15 of Matt Watkins is in the second spot. Third right now is the number 9 of Frank Divins. Divins now down to the bottom side. He's fighting with the 15 of Matt Watkins. A different player in yellow flag out on the speedway once again. Trying to look to see what happened there. It looks like the 64 of Tony Robinson really slow. Not sure if he brought out the yellow flag or if it was somebody else. It looks like somebody may have gotten the back of the number 64 machine.
Well, definitely saw him into the inside wall with some heavy damage to the 64. Definitely for sure there was contact there, but did that break him loose, or was that 64 already late? We'll let Joe tell the story there when we get to the full velocity replay, but a lot of pink cars out there, a lot of things moving around, a couple of cars pointed the wrong way. Definitely looks like Todd, the 64 may have got the heavy end of that. Tough to tell. Was there contact between him and the 98? I don't want to, tell that story. We'll let Joe do it, but, looks like 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 cars around the wrong side off the exit of turn 2.
Yeah, quite a few different cars at the exit of turn number 2 around and heavily damaged cars, and that's unfortunate to see if anybody is going to have to retire from the event. Like I said, there were some pretty heavily damaged cars that they really nosed it right into the outside wall pretty hard.
So we'll let Joe get that review all set and underway here so we can display that, show everybody what happened out there, but things definitely happening through turns number 1 and 2. Just till the start of segment 2, 55 laps of 210, that making strides against Breast Cancer Awareness 300 tonight for our friends at Blazin Pedals, an awesome event put on by Tom Richter, Toby Robertson, all the guys over at BP. Special thanks to Sean Case for all the help this evening as well. Sean, of course, the owner of Blazin Pedals, and a fantastic league, been around a long time, and going to see a lot of racing here left to come here tonight. Great racing indeed. But Joe, under the caution flag, believe this would be number 5 this evening. Show us what happened.
Yes, sir. We're going to take a look here at the number 64, Toby Robertson, and that number 98 machine of Brendan Hayes. Seems like poor Brendan's been involved in just about every accident we've had tonight. Unfortunate night for that number 98 machine. We're going to kick this thing. Maybe not.
All right, so let Joe get squared away with the replay there. I think we just lost communication there for a second as It sounds like he's got his hands full in the control booth here tonight. Had a flawless night last night, looking like some the new equipment there. Todd, hiccups happening down there. Joe's got his hands full, but he's a pro. He'll get it all sorted out, and we'll get that replay all queued up for our viewers out there. 56 laps in. Looking like some different players up front. Of course, Maverick and Matt have been, constants all night. Michael Berg was up there. He restarted 10th. He's now worked his way to 8th through that wreck. But a new name up to the front of the field we haven't talked a lot about. That number 9 of Frank Divins, he's a guy who knows how to get to the front of one of these things, and he finds himself third. I'm not shocked whatsoever. I'm sure you're not shocked to see that number 9 having a good run.
Nah, definitely not shocked. Frank Divins, no stranger to victory lane at many of these leagues around the area, the SRAs and some other issues. So we'll have to see what happens with Frank Divins. Like I said, no surprise for him to be up in the top 5 to me. Frank Divins is a really good racer.
Oh, absolutely a good racer indeed. So just letting Joe get all sorted out down there. Have to wait on his status. So we may or may not get the replay before we get back to green flag racing. Things definitely, happening fast and furious here at Kentucky. I think what we all want right now is a nice elongated green flag run. We want to see what these guys can do over the course of a 20 to 30 lap run. Fuel window here tonight looking to be about 28 to 30 laps. So I'd love to see what the tire run does here over the long run. So have to wait and see. Looks like lights are out atop of the pace car, Todd. So it looks like this time around we'll turn this thing back under green flag conditions, just like the initial start of the race. We got about 2 corners before the first caution. Got about through the first 2 corners of segment number 2. So I'll see if we can't get more green flag racing. But let's put see what happens here on the restart real quick, and then we'll see. Never mind. Let's start on Joe. Joe, give us a quick replay here before we get back to green.
Absolutely, guys. We'll play this forward real quick. We're going to look at Toby Robertson, slow motion here. Gets a little loose in front of the 98. Little contact from the back. That gets everybody a little more squirrely. He tries to save it. Almost has it. Gets another tap from the 98. That kind of does him in. Sends the 98 up into the wall. Toby's spinning. The 40 car is spinning. Bobby Farrell's up there in the fence. So a lot of pink cars getting together. A little more damage for some of these cars. And we'll reset and try this again. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, good job, Joe, getting all squared away with the replay, getting us a brief look of what happened down there. A lot of pink cars out there tonight, Todd, but looking at the front of the field right now, the field covered in blue. Maverick Morrill, the 57, Matt Watkins, the 15. They're going to restart with the front row. Pace car is in. Let's turn this thing back under green flag conditions. What do you say? Let's go.
Green flag is in the air once again. Maverick Morrill with a good start on the bottom side this time. GT Rosari had an amazing start. That 4 machine already up to that 3rd spot around the number 9 of Frank Divins. The 15 of Matt Watkins now back down to the bottom side. And the 57 of Maverick Morrill still on the top side. But here comes the 15 of Matt Watkins back down to the bottom side. GT Rosari right now in a lock battle with the number 9 of Frank Divins down here in the turn number 3. Give Divins that 3rd spot once again. GT Rosari drops back to 4th.
GT drove it in really, really deep through turn number 3 and 4, but looking like a little bit of bob on the outside lane. That allowed Frank Divins to drive to 9, up to a 3rd spot. Also up through the top 5, we find the 88 of Craig Meyer. He's got that pink tie ride now up to that 5th spot. Craig Meyer looking to move forward, currently 5th. Looking at our top 4 as they hit turn 3, it is still Maverick Morrill, but here comes Matt Watkins, Todd. He's looking for running room to the low side off of turn 4.
Yeah, Matt Watkins looking for some running room off turn number 4. He's down to the bottom side, not able to close the gap between himself and the 57 of Maverick Morrill. Frank Divins still running in that 3rd spot. He's got about 3 car lengths between himself and Matt Watkins. GT Rosari running 4th. Craig Meyer is in that 5th spot. I'm looking for Michael Berg. Michael Berg in the 7th position. And that number 44 machine, he's working his way all the way up through the field here. He restarted about 13th position, and that number 44 now up to that 7th spot. So Berg trying to make some more moves here. Now up to the rear bumper. I believe that is the number 98 of Brendan Hayes. It is indeed the number 78, excuse me, of Dakota Wilkins. And now he's making a move on Dakota Wilkins. Put the 44 of Michael Berg to that 6th spot, now making some ground up here on the top 5 running cars. Look how fast Michael Berg is here on the short run.
He's certainly very, very fast. Knows he's got a really good short run car. The question is there, Todd, is he think he's going to be conservative with that thing, maybe keep the tires on that thing for a full 25 to 30 lap run. What do you think? Is he going to charge it like we know Michael to do, or you think he may play the conservative route? He's up to 6, but what do you think? You going to come forward? I think he's going to try to pass these guys.
Well, he's running down on the bottom side there for a little bit, and then he comes back up to the top side. He's trying to save his tires, as he said. He has to run up on the top side of the speedway in that number 44 machine to save his tires. But he is all over the rear bumper of that number 88 machine of Craig Meyer, the Punisher. He's going to look to try to make himself back inside the top 5 in the number 44. Meanwhile, back up front, looks like Matt Watkins closed the gap just a little bit, about car length between himself and the 57 of Maverick Morrow. As now I say that, looks like the 15 of Matt Watkins had a little bit of a push coming off of 2.
Yeah, certainly got a little bit of aero tight off of that turn, too. Allowed the 57 to gain about 2 or 3, maybe even 4 car lengths down the backstretch, with the 15 using the benefit on the low side. He'll bring that down to about 2 car lengths, maybe even try to make that a bat off of the lead there. He'll fall back in line, but he's certainly in the draft and looking for running room alongside. He's going to fall back in line single file, but if that car doesn't get tight, Todd, it may be a lap and a half more before we see that 15 all the way down to that low side.
Yeah, the 15 will have to roll out of the throttle just a little bit to stay on the bottom side. But Frank Divens having a good run there in that 3rd spot. And he's hanging 10 with these guys up front in that 57 of Maverick Morrow and the 15 of Matt Watkins. So Frank Divens showing himself that he can be a player here at the Kentucky Speedway. The 4 of GT is already running in that 4th spot. He's about 2 or 3 car lengths behind the number 9 machine of Frank Divens. So this is going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here and see who's going to be able to win this stage. The second stage is going to be on lap 100, Phil. That's where that's going to end.
Got a lot of racing left to go between now and then. The best race on the speedway I'm finding is for that 5th position. Craig Meyer's got a mirror full of Michael Berg of that number 44. Michael was peaked high. He peaked to the low side of the speedway, almost had running room down low, got a little bit tight, had to wash back up the racetrack, gather it back up. But that 44, he won stage 1. He is on the move. He's falling back in line there, Todd. But for a couple of laps there, that was a great race for that 5th spot. So keep an eye on that through these next coming laps.
Yeah, Berg still trying to control his tires, trying to make sure that he don't overheat them and melt his tires, as he would say in that 44 machine. He wants some tires left. Now working over the bottom side, Craig Meyer closes the door here on the front straightaway in that number 88 machine. So Berg trying to get around the 88 of Craig Meyer. Meanwhile, up in front of him, there's a battle before that 3rd spot between the 4 GT Irizarry, the 9 of Frank Divens. Divens has it. Irizarry wants it down the back straightaway. He's down on the bottom side. Irizarry side by side with the 9 of Frank Divens. Into turn number 3, Craig Meyer right there in the frame. So is the 44 of Michael Berg. Irizarry drifts up the track just a wee bit, almost making contact with the 9 of Frank Divens. Those guys give enough room to each other. Here comes the 88 of Craig Meyer, the Punisher. He's right there with GT Irizarry. So these guys, you can throw a blanket over them, Phil, right now. They're racing that hard here through the corner.
Yeah, they certainly are. This time off of turn number 2, the inside lane, got to prevail. Move GT Irizarry up to position number 3. The 88 rather of Craig Meyer, he got really tight off of turn 2. Almost broke that thing loose. Almost looked like he jabbed the brake pedal down to the low side of the racetrack. That allowed Berg to make his way around. Now here comes the 44 Todd looking for the 4th spot. He's going to look to be sideways up high, going to fall back in line, but that 44, we know he's fast. He's on the move once again. Great race now for 4th down the back straightaway.
Yeah, great race for 4th now. Michael Berg peeks down to the bottom side of the 9 of Frank Divens. The 88 Craig Meyer, like we said, made a little bit of a mistake. He's still right there with those guys. Berg down on the bottom, drifts up the track just a little bit from the bottom. And that 44, Frank Divens still able to hold on to that 4th spot as we flash by the start-finish line, completing lap number 69, starting lap number 70 here of 2:10 here at the Kentucky Speedway. Frank Divens now out to about a car length and a half here, charging the corner real hard here through 1 and 2. Down in the back straightaway, Frank Divens giving up a little bit of momentum to the 44. Berg up through his rear bumper, now back down to the bottom side, down into 3. Berg working over the bottom side with the 44. The 9 of Frank Divens looks like he's going to back out of it. Berg does a slide job maneuver, as we would call in dirt. Berg now to 4th.
Yeah, Berg up to 4th, but I'm thinking Frank made a veteran move there, knowing that racing tooth and nail with these guys. You look at the interval, Todd, they were down to about 0.6 of a second when they started racing side by side. The interval from 4th all the way to our race leader now, that's almost eclipsed a full 2 seconds. So those guys lost a second and a half racing there side by side. So I think it's a A real cagey veteran move by the 9. Let's ride back in line. Let's cool the tires off. Let's not let these top two get too far away, as we have a 2-car breakaway to the front of the field. Make that almost 3 cars. There's probably about 8 to 10 car lengths between Matt Watkins, who's currently second, and GT Irizarry, who is currently third. So with those guys racing hard for third, the top 2 drivers is able to drive away from the field.
Unfortunately, Tony Robertson in that 64 machine right there at the tail end of the lead lap. They're running in that 13th position. Maverick Morrow searching to put the 64 down the lap. Is Tony Robertson one of those players that was inside the top 5 here in the first stage, now relegated to the rear in that 64 machine. Morrow right there all over the rear bumper, trying to put him 1 lap down. We're going to have to wait and see what happens with that 57. As he's working over the bottom, and he's letting out of the throttle in the 57, trying to stay on the bottom side of the speedway, trying to conserve his tires still, is Maverick Moore on the 57. It seems to be working. Like you said, Phil, he's in front of Matt Watkins, probably by about a good 4 or 5 car lengths over the 15 of Matt Watkins. Watkins still working on the bottom side too. GT Irizarry about 15 to 20 car lengths behind that duo, is Matt Watkins starting to close the gap between himself and your current race leader, the 57 of Maverick Morrow.
Yeah, and I'm going to bring Joe into this conversation, looking at now that, Maverick able to drive away a couple of car lengths, but Watkins now able to cut that down from 6 car lengths down to about 3 or 4. How much do you think the lap car of Toby Robertson is playing into this, Joe? Do you think the 57 maybe getting a little bit of, aero type tight and maybe bringing the 15 back to him there? How much do you think the lap car is playing a role right now?
Yeah, I think he's definitely playing a role in this. He's taken the air essentially off the front nose of the 57 machine, and that's actually hurting and making him a little bit aero tight here. So I definitely think that lap car is playing a role, which is allowing that 15 machine to kind of pull up there and close the gap on the 57. So Maverick really has to think forward about this and try to get himself around that 64 machine and try to set his sights forward again and get back away from that number 15 machine.
Yeah, I definitely got to keep an eye on that. The 15, all over the tire tracks now. But looking back behind them, Todd, that race for third may be about to heat up, as well as the 44 of Michael Berg. He's been able to chase down the 4 of GT Irizarry. It was about a full second about 5 laps ago. It's down to a couple mere car lengths now, about 3 to 4 car lengths. We may have a race for third here in about 2 laps. They're in turn 3.
Yeah, Berg's still working on the bottom side. He's letting out the throttle quite a bit compared to what he was. Maybe conserving his tires a little bit more, as maybe he might have burned them up just a little bit. But fastest lap of the race does belong to Michael Berg, 29.547. That's a smoking fast lap around the Kentucky Speedway. Next fastest was 29.606 by the 15 of Matt Watkins, and GT Irizarry was third fastest here. This is all race long. This is the fastest lap, 29.635. And here comes the 44 of Michael Berg down on the access road here at the Kentucky Speedway. He's coming to pits.
Yeah, he certainly is, as is Matt Watkins aboard that number 15. He hit the access road. Matt Watkins going to pit that Toyota out of that second position. So let's see what the work is going to be for that number 15 Toyota. 45 miles per hour the speed limit. And when you come off the banking down to that access road, it is certainly tricky. It's one of the more difficult pit roads of all the NASCAR circuit. So let's see what that number 15 Toyota, a long ride down toward the end of pit road. He's going to hit the sign. He pitted about midway down. Going to be at least a right side tire pit stop, 2 right side tires in the air, 2 Kansas Sunoco gasoline, right side tire work down the way. They're going to swing all the way to the left side. It's going to be a 4 tire pit stop for that Matt Watkins Toyota. Looking all clean on this end. Left sides are down, 4 tires and go. He's gone there, Todd.
4 tires the call for the 44 of Michael Berg. He's going to come out behind the 15 of Matt Watkins. Meanwhile, still out on the track. How long do you want to stay out there, Phil? That's the question. You're going to lose precious seconds out on the track with these guys coming out with fresh Goodyear Eagles. So how long do you actually want to stay out and chance it with them?
Well, race leader Maverick Morrow said no more. He took that 1 extra lap. He's on pit road now. Right side tire work is done on the Oreo Chevrolet. They've swung over to the left side. Left side tire work is down. Tremendously fast pit stop for Maverick Morrow. He's down the way there, Todd.
Meanwhile, GT Irizarry down on the bottom side here, as we see GT Irizarry down here on pit road. He's coming to the aid of his pit crew. Right side tires going on the 4 of GT Irizarry. Going around to the left side tires also going on GT Irizarry. 4 tires is the call for GT Irizarry, and he's down and away.
There was 4 tires for the 64 of Toby Robertson. A little bit of damage left to that race car. Toby was trying to cling onto the lead lap. We'll have to see where he cycles back around. But 4 tires for Toby. He's down the way there, Todd.
You know, just waiting for scoring time in the reset here. Figure out where everybody is at. Right now, Craig Meyer in the 88 machine, he stayed out on the speedway so far. I believe Tom Richter, Adam Samsel coming down pit road. So is Tom Richter down on pit road. Craig Meyer still out there on the track, Phil. Do you have Tom Richter?
Yeah, I certainly do. I'm down on the 34 pit of Tom Richter. That making strides forward. A beautifully prepared race scheme for that number 34, I think, as we all expected here tonight. Long pit road at Kentucky, as we said, 45 miles per hour, the speed limit as they hit down toward pit road. He's on the sign there, maybe overshot just a little bit. Now right side tire is going in the air, so going to lose some precious seconds here as that 34. Right side work is down. Over to the left side tires, that Ford Fusion up in the air. Left side tire work looks to be complete. Fuel is in. 34, Tom Richter, he's going to rejoin the race there down the front stretch.
And he's going to rejoin the race. Craig Meyer still out there on the speedway. Cannot believe the Punisher has not come to pit road. It does not look like he's looking to come down this time either. In that number 88 machine, he's coming down to complete lap number 84 of 210 laps here at the Kentucky Speedway. No pitting for the 88 of Craig Meyer. Maybe he's hoping for a yellow flag there, Phil.
He might certainly be. What I think is happening right now with that number 88, through that last caution flag, we saw guys come in and start topping off, and I think that's exactly what the 88 did. So he's got that extra couple laps of fuel. I think Bobby Farrell might be on that same strategy. Also, Dale Lee, that number 40. Those 3 drivers have yet to come to pit road. Looks like Craig may be content there, Todd, to run this thing about as empty as he possibly can. He'll flash by pit road again, but you got to think it's probably going to be about another 3 or 4 laps before we see the 88 onto pit road.
Yeah, he may be trying to stay out there to get that yellow flag. He maybe chance himself into a stage win is Craig Meyer, but we're waiting to see what's going to happen here. As we're still watching Maverick Morrow on the speedway. Maverick Morrow is the guy that's been out there. So Morrow is your leader of the guys that have pitted in the number 57 machine.
I'm down on pit road, guys. I got that number 40 Dodge Charger of Dale Lee onto pit road. Let's see what he does out of the 3rd position. You know, one of the last drivers to come to pit road. He topped off on that last caution flag. Got to imagine it's got to be 4 tires for that Dodge Charger. Oh, retro style, looking almost Richard Petty type paint scheme from way back in the 60s. It would go back to what I think that number 40, back all the way to the Pete Hamilton days. So 4-tire pit stop for Dale Lee. His work is done all nice and clean. The 40 going to rejoin the race. Still waiting for 2 drivers, Todd, to come to pit road.
Yeah, that's going to inform of the 88 of Craig Meyer and the 45 of Bobby Farrell. Farrell 13.530 seconds behind the 88 of Craig Meyer right now. Everybody else 1 lap down because they did come down pit road. But again, Craig Meyer and Bobby Farrell giving up a lot of time to those guys on fresh sneakers. It looks like Craig Meyer, though, coming down the pit road this time.
Yes, sir, that pink tide ride, that number 88 Ford Fusion finding its way down off the racetrack through the access road to turn number 3 and 4. As you said, he's losing precious time to these guys on fresher tires. But, you know, what that may do over the course of a long run, that may equal itself out. You know, maybe not as much here in stage number 2, but you got to think through an elongated stage 3. This may be a great time to try and see how this is going to pay off. So we see now the 88 of Craig Meyer flashing down toward pit road. Let's see what the work is for that pink tide ride here tonight. Got to imagine it's going to be a 4-tire pit stop there. We see Bobby Farrell flash by. I saw 4 tires, you know, the call for that 45 machine, but let's see what the leader does. Craig's got right side tire work all done and complete. A 2-tire pit stop. Rolling the dice there, Todd. He ran that fuel tank a little more dry. 2 tires for Craig Meyer. What a gutsy call. Good time to make it now with 12 laps to go here in stage number 2.
You had an interesting call for the 88 of Craig Meyer. 2 tires is the call for him. And now we're going to have to wait and see what happens with the number 88 of Craig Meyer as the 57 of Maverick Morrow. It was trying to chase him down. We'll see what happens with Craig Meyer.
All right, so letting timing and scoring all recycle. We were following along the 57 of Maverick Morrow. He's going to recycle out as our race leader there. Joe is spotlighting what he was doing there as we follow the 57. He was the second, of that wave to pit road. He's got a 0.8 of a second lead now, 0.8 over Matt Watkins. Those two guys we saw drive away. That may be the story here again. It got a little bit of a gap, probably about 12 to 15 car lengths there, Todd, off of turn 2. Maverick Morrow looking poised here to pick up the stage points to go to victory lane here through the second stage.
Yeah, Maverick Morrow is clocking off those laps in that number 57 machine to pick up those stage points, as he's got a .787 over Matt Watkins right now. Michael Berg running in that third spot. He's 4 seconds behind, but Berg, let's see what happens to him. He said he's been the fastest all evening long in that number 44 machine, but he lost some time to those top two guys once again. 4.378 seconds. So Michael Berg running in third, but almost 4.5 seconds back.
Yeah, 4.5 seconds back, but it shows the greatness of that car. It's certainly fast. It was about 5 seconds, about 3 or 4 laps ago. He's got that down to 4.3. So the 44, we got the fastest lap of the race. He may be the fastest car on the racetrack this time around. Let's see if he cuts at that interval anymore. It was 4.3, no, up to 4.6. So he lost a little bit of time working through traffic. Maybe burned those tires up a little bit, but we look now, 92 laps up on the board, 8 laps to go here in stage 2. Maverick Morrow trying to drive away. Matt Watkins not going to let him, drive off too far to the sunset. A 4.5 second difference to third place Michael Berg. GT Irizarry currently fourth. He's 8.7 seconds back last time around. And Frank Givens, the number 9, having a great run, 12 seconds off the pace. That's your current top 5, but all chasing that 57. Had an awesome pit stop. Probably the fastest I saw, Todd, as far as getting on and off pit road clean and with the work that pit crew did. An awesome job by that Oreo Chevrolet team.
Yeah, definitely an awesome job by the 57 of Maverick Morrow. 6th through 10th there, Phil. Craig Meyer running in that 6th spot. So look how many seconds that he did lose staying out there. Even though he took 2 tires, 20.773 seconds behind the leaders after leading this race. The 34, Tom Richter, he's 7th. He's 22 seconds back. Brandon Hayes is 8th in that number 98 machine. He's 30 seconds back. And then 1 lap down in 9th is Tony Robertson. Adam Samso's in 10th in that 56 machine. He's also a lap down. Bobby Farrell a lap down in the 45. Dale Lee in the 40. He's 1 lap down. Phil Parker, that number 2 machine, he is in that 13th spot. He's also 1 lap down. Dakota Wilkins was abducted by aliens once again, like he always does. Dakota Wilkins, it seems like the aliens like poor old Dakota. He's now 11 laps down here, and hopefully maybe the aliens will let him return in that number 78 machine. But the 47 is Sonny Tallman. He is out of this event. Behind the wall, retired here early on in the going from one of those incidents. He was out. The 55 is Scott Schroer, also behind the wall, and Sean Case was the last car behind the wall in that 0 machine.
Yeah, 17 drivers took the green flag here. 300 miles around the Kentucky Speedway here tonight. The Making Strides Against Breast Cancer 300 for the Blazin Pedals. Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series here. They run at BP every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, following the full 36 race NASCAR Cup Series schedule. So check these guys out. An awesome series run here on Thursday nights. And as we get to the end of stage number 2, a little less than 5 laps remaining. Make that a little less than 4 laps remaining as they flash by the line. Maverick Morrow looking poised to pick up those, that credited 10 bonus points there for winning a stage. But if you look there, Todd, the 15 of Matt Watkins, he's able to chase that interval down a little bit. It was 8 to 9 of a second. It's down to about a solid half second there as they hit turn 3.
Yeah, he indeed has in that number 15 machine. I'm trying to look at some of what's going on with him, and this time by, maybe we'll see what kind of laps is. This time by, let's see the start-finish line. Lap time for the 57, 30.346. Lap time for the Matt Watkins, 30.353. So just a tick off by 0.007 is how much faster Maverick Morrow was that lap. That's darn close. These guys are about equal up front.
They certainly are, but know who's not equal back there? We documented the Michael Berg car that was certainly fast. Well, he's fallen all the way down back to 8 seconds off the rears. He's fallen back all the way to almost a battle with GT Irizarry for third. So, that those coveted, the segment points there through stage number 2, that we may see a battle for third here, as I believe we got 1 more lap to go left in this segment there, Todd. Don't think Matt Watkins has anything left there to chase that 57 down.
Yeah, I don't think he has anything to chase that 57 down as of right now. I think Maverick Morris pretty much got this stage win in the bag here, as now we're coming up on lap 100 here in the 57, but it looks like GT Irizarry did get around Michael Berg for that third spot, so Berg drops back to fourth, and GT Irizarry goes to third.
So it looks like 100 laps up on the board, so we're going to wait, I think, a caution flag to end stage 2 here any second now. I think they wait for the last car to cross the start-finish line. Then we'll see yellow flag on the speedway, and right on cue, there is a yellow flag, so that puts the official end to stage number 2. Maverick Moro picking up the win. Matt Watkins, GT Irizarry, Michael Berg, Frank Divens comes home with a strong top 5 through segment 2. Tom Richter comes home 6th. Craig Meyer 7th. Brendan Hayes 8th, Toby Robertson 9th, Bobby Farrell running at your top 10. We're just about halfway home of this thing. Now 101 of 210 laps on the board there, Todd. So through 2 stages, saw a lot of great racing so far. Michael Berg winning segment 1, but through this long green flag run, Maverick Moro showing to be the dominant car. He's going to win segment 2.
Yeah, Maverick Morrow winning segment 2 in the number 57 machine. That's a pretty good accomplishment, and a lot of green flag running that time versus the first stage where you had that short burst a run for the stage one. This one was a long green flag run. And Maverick Morrow got to show his side of things, his side of the muscle in that 57 machine, Phil.
No, he certainly did, and we talked to Michael Berg after stage 1. Let's see if we can't talk to Maverick Moro there after stage 2, see what he's thinking aboard that number 57 Oreo Chevrolet. On Maverick, it's Phil LaCasse on Full Velocity Network, buddy. Got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, Maverick, congratulations. They're a very strong run for you there on segment 2. But, man, the credit's got to go to your pit crew there. What an awesome pit stop by all you guys.
Yeah, that was definitely the key, getting on and off pit road smoothly without losing too much time.
You nailed that pit stop completely. You know, probably the cleanest through the access road going into 3. Probably the fastest on and off the jack we saw down there. Great work by your crew, but race car looks to be awfully fast there tonight through this long run. You certainly got to be happy with that.
Yeah. First stage there, kind of had to learn some things, change some lines up, find what the race car liked, but it's really coming in now, starting to find a good groove.
Well, you guys have all certainly found a different groove, but now we talk about the stage racing here. The first 2 segments are 50 laps in distance. You saw a couple of guys break those segments also, almost in half and come to pit road. Segment 3, 110 laps. So that's going to change the thinking of what these guys are going to do. What do you think we're going to see as far as different strategy here as we get through this extended stage here? We get to the conclusion of this race. What do you think?
Part of it's going to depend on, if we get any cautions or not, but I mean, the setup's really good. Everybody's doing a great job. If we can get spread out again, this thing could go green all the way to the end. And I think you're going to have to run your fuel pretty much right to the end every time.
Well, man, if that car shows any indication at all, I think you and Matt certainly, 2 of the fastest cars out there. And that work on pit road, man, I'm sure you guys will have your work cut out for you in stage 3. But congratulations on that segment win. Sure, those bonus points always feel good when you win one of these stages.
Oh yeah, for sure. They always help, and you can't have too many of them. So we're gonna just try and be smart. We're not even halfway, really. So a lot of racing to go. Just got to be smart. Keep it in one piece for at the end.
All right, buddy. Well, thanks for talking to us again. Hopefully, we can talk to you again here on the post-race show. So a lot of racing left to go, as you said. So keep that Oreo thing clean, man. That makes me hungry. But you're giving it a hell of a ride. Have a good time out there the rest of the night. Thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you guys for all your hard work too.
All right, it's Maverick Moro. Todd, he wins stage number 2. The first stage we saw a lot of yellow flag racing. Michael Berg with that sprint run on those short tires, that short run, with those fresh tires really paid off. But this one here, we saw green flag pit stop, so long extended run to the end of this thing. The 57 showed to have the best car out there.
Yeah, he showed that he could motor around the speedway. He wasn't running the complete bottom. He was saving his tires. It was more like the middle group for that 57 of Maverick Morrow. Is now the 45 goes around the pace car, and I believe the number 98 of Brendan Hayes is now also around the pace car. So some of these guys getting their laps back. and able to return to the tail end of the lead lap. I believe that would be Bobby Farrell and Brendan Hayes, both getting to the tail end of the lead lap here, actually to the tail end. So we'll have to wait and see what those guys are able to do. They've been running pretty strong. Bobby Farrell has been in quite a few wrecks, unfortunately, for the 45 machine, and it's been a tough night for Bobby Farrell, but inside the top 10, I consider that a good run for Bobby right now.
Oh, it certainly does. Looks like he'll take the wave around, get back in the lead lap. Brendan Hayes also getting that lucky dog, so put 9 drivers back on the lead lap now. A lot of racing left to go at the Kentucky Speedway as we raise money tonight to raise awareness to beat breast cancer out here. We're going to flash that, donate link for, the American Cancer Society all night long. Tom Richter's been so gracious to post a link for us, raising money. I think it was up around $700 at last look, so keep those donations coming. Let's see where this rest of this night's going to take us. A lot of racing left to go. Pace car on pit road, Todd. Green flag is back in the air.
Yeah, green flag is back in the air. $676 raised here so far in the Making Strides for cancer here, breast cancer, and making strides for the 300 here. It's $676 have raised, and there's been quite a few donations here from the YouTube chat box. Like to keep everybody rolling here on the donations. If you haven't donated or like to donate something to that, I've been flashing the link up all evening long. We'll make sure that it's in this broadcast. I believe it's going to stay even open after the broadcast is over. So if you're watching this in an archive, you're able to make a donation to this also. So it's a great cause, and this has been a great race so far. Michael Berg is back up in the lead in that number 44 machine. Once again, Matt Watkins in that second spot. Third is Frank Divens, having a good run in stage number 2. Fourth is Maverick Morrow in that 57 machine. And fifth is the 4 of GT Irizarry.
Yeah, so great racing going on there for second. The 9 of Frank Divens was making a run at it in that extreme machine. Looks like he got up a little bit loose. He bobbled up to the high side. That's allowed Maverick Morrow to the low side. That number 57, he's up to that third spot. He may be looking to go forward with the 9 car, Todd. Looked like he was almost getting a race up near the race lead. He'll fall back to the 4th spot, looking like he's trying to peak on a line. Top 4, top 5 drivers all single file up at turn 4.
Yeah, single file out of turn number 4. Here comes the 57 of Maverick Morrow down the front straightaway. Once again, he's down to the inside of the 15 of Matt Watkins. He's going to do a strong maneuver down to the bottom. He's going to move himself into the second spot. Let's see if he can track down Michael Berg in the short run. Michael Berg has had the fastest car in the short runs in that 44. But Maverick Morrow right there, he's lurking. He's looking to get around the 44 of Michael Berg. Right now, a car length between himself and that number 44 machine. I have to wait and see, Phil.
We certainly got to wait and see. So far, going to ride along right in the tire tracks now off of turn number 4, down the front stretch and entering turn number 1. Berg with the lead. Morrow now going to look to that low side. Let's bring that 57 down low. Is it going to be a two-way tango for the race lead? I think we got one there, Todd. Race for the lead as they head toward turn 3.
Yeah, race for the lead here as they head to turn number 3. Maverick Morrow drifts up the track in that 57 just a little bit. The 44 drifts up coming out of turn number 4. And that 44 machine down the front straightaway. Berg still holding on to the lead about a car length. Car length and a half advantage over Maverick Morrow. Morrow steaming though down here into turn number 1. He's back down to the bottom side trying to get it way lower, just a little bit lower than the 44 of Michael Berg. Not able to complete the pass here down the back straightaway.
No, not at all. Looking, back, great racing going on for that third spot. Matt Watkins is there, Frank Divens, and also GT Irizarry. He's been looking to try to pounce low, looking to run high. Looks like he may have got his tires warm. He's opened the door now for a Tom Richter, the 34. They're going to race side by side for that 5th position as they head toward turn 1.
Yeah, good racing throughout the whole field here at the Kentucky Speedway after the restart here of stage number 3. 110 laps is this stage, so now we got a battle for that lead once again. It's starting to heat up. Berg almost up into the outside wall down the back straightaway. Here comes the 57 of Maverick Morrow down to the bottom side here into turn number 3. They are side by side through 3. Berg on the top side, Morrow on the bottom side off of turn number 4. Drag race down here to the start finish line. Again, momentum is going to propel the 44 of Michael Berg to the line, but Maverick Morrow has that preferred groove. Down on the bottom side here into turn number 1. Yellow flag is going to fly.
Yellow flag on the speedway. It's been a little while since we've seen one here. Just through the opening laps of stage number 3. Issues happening now. Looks like off of maybe turn number 2. trying to find where that may have all broken away there. Give Joe a point of reference down there. He's had a pretty busy night down there getting everything all sorted out. But, thought I might have saw the 45 driving away. We'll call that premature. Not sure exactly what happened to bring that yellow out, but one guy I'm sure who's happy about it there, Todd, the 64 of Toby Robertson, he should get the lucky dog, and that'll put 10 cars now back to the lead lap.
Yeah, and he was a contender there in stage number 1. Had a little bit of a mishap in stage 2. Ended up trapped a lap down in the number 64 machine. So hopefully we'll wait and see what happens with him. Tony Robinson in the number 64 machine. So hopefully he's able to get back up there in that top 5, Phil.
Now we'll have to see. So now the question is, while we let Joe screen out here and see what happened to put us under the caution flag, let's look toward pit road. Do any of these guys with these fresh tires and fuel that started the segment, do they all come down pit road? I think the answer there, Todd, through all our race leaders, that answer looks to be yes. The only one maybe not. Looks like all of them staying out there. So the entire lead pack, all 9 on the lead lap, they're all on pit road.
Yeah, all of them down there on pit road. Meanwhile, Joe is ready down there in the control booth. Joe, take away. What brought out this yellow flag?
Yes, sir. We are back here. We're going to focus our attention on the number 2 of Phil Parker, that number 40 machine of Dale Lee. They call Phil Parker Blinky for a reason. We're going to see it right here. Unfortunately, Phil coming down through the corner here, gets a little loose, gets into the bumper there, the front bumper of the number 40 machine of Dale Lee. We see him blink just a little bit up into the wall here, a little bit more warp up into the wall, unfortunately, and he ends up coming right back around here, and I think that's where you saw Bobby Farrell coming around, Phil. Unfortunately, just some trouble there for the number 2 machine as well as that number 40 machine coming together. Looks like that 2 just came down the hill, unfortunately, in front of the 40 of Bobby Hill. Really nowhere for him to go. We'll rewind this back, watch it one more time. Just nowhere for him to go. Just comes down the hill. There's a car there. Car slides up just a little bit. They come together in the rear, and that spins them around. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Yeah, and, we call Phil Parker Blinky with an affectionate there. We like to poke fun at him, but sometimes that nickname is for a reason there, Todd, and I think we saw it right there. Blinky strikes again. Not sure the aliens wanted our buddy Phil out there, but, certainly, stuff happening, a little bit of warp there going on, contact on the racetrack, and, hard left side damage out of that number 2. That's certainly going to affect the handle here, with a lot of laps left to go here through this race.
Yeah, definitely going to affect the handling and tough break for Phil Parker. Well, I'm going to throw it out here, Phil. We have not done it. We've seen 2 different stage winners, in the YouTube chat box. Who's going to win this race this evening? We're going to do it here. We're past the halfway point. I think we've all seen who's going to who's been pretty strong. And right now, the points leader in this little points that we have going on between all of us broadcasters is Phil. So he gets to pick last here tonight. Joe gets to pick first tonight because he finished 9th last night after his pick. Joe, take it away. Who's going to win Kentucky here in this race tonight?
Well, I'm looking out front towards some of the guys that have had some success out there, and, you can never go wrong with a guy like Michael Berg, who's really fast on the short runs, but I'm going to go with the guy that's been out front. He's led 53 laps so far tonight in this event, and that's that number 57 machine of Maverick Morrow. One of my buddies. I've known him for a long time. Huge supporter of everything going on at the SRA and everything that we have going on here in Blazin Pedals and whatnot. So I think that nice-looking blue Oreo number 57 Chevrolet is going to end up in victory lane by the end of this thing.
Nice solid pick. Maverick Morrow been leading this race, stage winner number 2 in that 57. I'm going to go off on a limb here, and of course I'm going to go with Matt Watkins. Watkins has won me a race. He got the black cloud away from me a long time ago in DRTV, and hopefully that never comes here to the Full Velocity Network, and everybody has good finishes, and when we pick them, so far so good. I'm going to go with Matt Watkins winning this race tonight in the 15.
Well, I think that's a really solid pick, but, we have to go against each other here. No agreements here, so if these points are going to work out, we can do it the right way. So I guess I got to pick last. You're going to take Matt. Joe's going to take Maverick. 2 really solid picks. The third car of that dominant trio has certainly been the 44 of Michael Berg. Does he have the car to go in the long run? I'm thinking the answer is going to be yes. So I guess if I got to make my prediction, once again tonight, we don't stray outside the top 3. I'll predict that number 44 of Michael Berg goes to victory lane there, Todd.
So we have Joe with the 57 of Maverick Morrow. I've picked the 15 of Matt Watkins. The 44 of Michael Berg is Phil's pick. Down there in the YouTube chat box, you guys turn to pick. I see Bob Tompkins Sr. said 57. Jamie Tedder said Maverick. I know some of you guys, other you guys down there have some opinions. Let's see that chat box. What are your guys' predictions? Who's going to win this race here this evening?
Well, a lot remains to be seen. 116 laps of the 210 that make up 300 miles at the Kentucky Speedway. Racing for awareness here for breast cancer. The Making Strides 300 tonight at the Kentucky Speedway. Who's going to lead the restart? It's going to be Maverick Morrow using the outside lane. Michael Berg going to restart on the inside there in that second spot. Green flag back in the air.
Yeah, Maverick Morrow out to the early advantage down here to turn number 1. He's able to get a good restart, come down the track, but here comes Michael Berg, staying in the throttle a little longer. It sounds almost like he's in the gear a little bit longer down on the bottom side in that 44. Berg alongside of him down the back straightaway. Morrow able to muster it up down the back straightaway. He's going to complete the pass down into turn number 3. Maverick Morrow still leading about a car length and a half over Michael Berg in that 44.
Yeah, and the 44 got a little bit loose off the exit of turn number 4. That car looked like it got a little bit light. Thought we would have seen a push there, but that back end got a little bit squirrely. You know, Michael was a little bit sideways off of 4, but this time through 1 and 2, all nice and smooth. The 15 not able to pounce, but that 57 of Maverick Morrow, it's about 6-7 car lengths there as they hit turn 3.
Yeah, 6 or 7 car lengths between himself, the 44 and the 57 of Maverick Morrow. Looking through the field, Matt Watkins about 2 to 3 car lengths behind the 44 Michael Berg. Craig Meyer up to that 4th spot in that number 88 machine. He got around the 34. Tom Richter back to 5th. 6th right now is Toby Robinson. Look at him. He's back up inside the top 10. He's now in 6th. He's able to fight with the top 5. So good run for Toby coming back through the field after being 1 lap down. Meanwhile, back up front, the battle is starting to heat up. Starting to wait for that 2nd spot. Michael Berg all over the racetrack. It looks like the number 15 of Matt Watkins trying to catch him is now the yellow flag flies once again here at the Kentucky Speedway.
Yeah, yellow flag once again, trying to find where this may have happened. I saw the 40 of Dale Lee slow and looked like there was issues there going on around that number 40. Not sure exactly what happened. Looked like also the 56 of Adam Sampson may be involved as well, and looks exactly what happened. Also looks like, you know, the 2 of Phil Parker may be around that as well. So a 3-car tango into turn number 3, putting us under caution flag. And Joe is on the money right now, man. He is ready with the full velocity replay.
Yes, sir, guys. We're going to focus our attention there. The number 56 of Adam Samsel, that number 2 machine of Phil Parker, and the 40 of Dale Lee kind of back there in the rear of that frame. We're going to cut this thing down here into turn 3. Looks like Phil Parker just gets up on the bumper, or what used to be the bumper of the 56. Real slow cars in the back, all with heavy damage from some earlier incidents, and they just get into one another. That sends the 56 of Phil Parker up into the fence. Dale Lee spins in the back trying to avoid that. He actually gets a little piece of that number 56 machine himself, and that shoots him up into the outside wall. So, guys, that looks like the cause of our caution here. Some cars that have been heavy damage from earlier incidents just giving themselves a little bit more damage and a little more character to those race cars as we continue this event. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Just looking at the 56 Adam Samsel, heavy rear end damage in that 56 machine, so he's going to have to come down pit road and get that repaired, as he's already missing part of the rear end. Now I believe he's going to have that whole rear end hacksawed off there, and that's going to make him a tad bit more loose in that 56 machine. Meanwhile, up front, I believe Maverick Morrow made a pit stop in the 57 machine. He's going to be able to come back out in the field. I believe he's going to take over the lead. The number 9 of Frank Divins out there pacing around the field. He was 13th. On the field. I'm not sure if he stayed out or what's going on with Frank Divins in that number 9 machine. I believe he indeed did stay out, as he is 2 laps down somehow in that number 9 machine.
No, he certainly is 2 laps down. Not sure if we see what happened there in that number 9 camp, but under the caution flag, let's see if we can't talk to another of our drivers out there. And, you know, why not go find that pink tide ride and talk to that number 88 of Craig Meyer. Craig, it's Phil from Full Velocity, buddy. Got a copy.
Phil, how you doing tonight, brother?
Oh, brother, we are doing fantastic up here. You guys on the racetrack doing great as well. This is some awesome racing there at Kentucky tonight, partner.
It's surprisingly been good. We've had a couple of yellows and everything. It's just a little slick. Some of it could be the transition from the day to the night, but it's been really good. Been really racing. You know, going from, I think it's about the highest I've been, and going from the back to here and from here to the back a few times. So it's been a good night.
Yeah, your car seems to be getting stronger as this night goes on. You were hovered back outside the top five at that sixth race spot, but you've been a player inside the top five. You're starting to come forward a little bit. It looks like Maverick and Matt, and especially Michael the 44. Those three cars have probably been the fastest here all night. But you got anything left of that old tire ride to maybe challenge these top three?
Well, I hope so. I mean, the old tire ride got a little bit of juice in her. Get that Eco Boost tuned up a little bit, put that boost on about 30 pounds, we'll see what'll happen. But honestly, I think with the stage racing, the first two stages, knowing a yellow was going to fall, you had guys, running hard, short pitting, that kind of thing. And now with it going to the end, you kind of got guys stretching it just a little bit because of, wanting to make it run it out and, not short pit now. So I think the strategies with it have come, varying degrees.
Yeah, and through that second stage, everybody out there, with the exception of yourself, everybody elected for 4 tires. You took 2 tires there, knowing there were so few laps left there in stage 2. Do you think we see anybody roll the dice through this third stage and maybe gamble on 2 tires later on in this thing?
Well, I'll speak from experience here. If you make gambles and takes 2 tires, they're dumb. Holy crap, this thing would not turn. It just got tighter than a dang drum. So 4 tires is definitely the way to go. I stayed out just because I figured there might be somebody miss the access road and have a wreck. And I was hoping maybe trap some guys lap down and get some spots that way.
Well, always a good idea, but you got a lot of laps left here to go, Craig. So, bring that tide ride forward, buddy. You're having a hell of a run, and we'll see if you got anything left for those top 3, buddy. Get back to it, and roll tide, brother.
Roll tide, brother. Appreciate it, guys. Y'all doing a hell of a job.
All right, that's our buddy Craig Meyer out there, and that number 88, the pink tide ride tonight. And what a more fitting way here is we're raising to awareness for breast cancer. So a lot of pink themes out here tonight, and that pink tide ride fits Craig real well, Todd. He's having a good run out there in that 88, getting ready for a restart.
Yeah, it definitely fits him pretty well in the 88. It looks really nice out there on the speedway. As we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing, the 57 of Maverick Morrow and the 44 of Michael Berg. Those are your top 2. Berg on the bottom side, Maverick Morrow on the top side. Green flag's in the air. It looks like Berg got a good start on the bottom side. He had a little bit of a launch there, not able to complete the pass. So here comes down into turn 1, the 57 of Maverick Morrow, fighting off the 44 of Michael Berg. Berg still working over the bottom side. They're side by side through 1 and 2.
Yeah, side by side for the race lead. Maverick washing up the racetrack, almost got to the outside wall up for turn 2. If he didn't hit it, he certainly scared it, but it didn't upset the race car whatsoever. Got a tremendous head of speed. He's going to clear the 44. 44 is going to mirror the 15 now of Matt Watkins. He may pull alongside. It's a drag race for that second spot as they head toward turn 1.
Yeah, Matt Watkins working on the bottom side, and that number 15 machine side by side with the 44 of Michael Berg here through turn number 1 and off of turn number 2. Matt Watkins has a slight advantage, but here comes Berg firing back on the outside in that 44 machine. Side by side, Berg has the advantage here coming down into turn 3. Watkins not going away. I believe he's going to have a little bit more of a run. No, he drifts up the track just a little bit. That's going to give the advantage coming off of 4 to Michael Berg in that 44 machine.
Yeah, using the high side to his advantage. You got a great launch off of there. The 15 of Watkins not going to go away. Let's see what happens as they hit turn number 1. Matt dives that thing real deep. Maybe a little bit of contact there as the 44 slides up the hill. He may be the outside wall. Todd, yellow flag on the speedway. Looked like the 44 there with the contact from the 15 may have got out of shape, and I believe that may be the cause for this current caution flag.
Yeah, tough break for Michael Berg. Berg around. Hopefully he didn't get any damage on that 44 machine, as I believe everybody worked to miss him. But tough break for Michael Berg.
No, it certainly is. And, we talked about that little playful pick we're going to do here, keep a little bit of points between ourselves. And, last goes, or first goes last. And I picked the 44, hoping my pick didn't go up in smoke right there. We'll see if there's any damage left of that 44 after that contact. Not sure if the 15 or the 44 touched there, Joe. It looked like they may have, but nonetheless, the 44 up out of the groove and around. And I believe that's our current yellow flag, bud.
Yes, sir. We're going to take a look at it. You hit it right on the head. It looks like the 15 slid up the hill just a little bit, combination of Michael Berg going down the hill a little bit, just overdriving the corner is what it looks like. Matt just trying to do everything he can to clear that number 44 machine. He comes up. They barely make just a little bit of contact, just enough with the net code to unfortunately send Michael Berg up into the fence. And as you can see it from this angle, he ends up spinning down the racetrack off the wall, just not able to hold it off the wall to try and keep this thing under green. Unfortunate for both of those drivers. Hopefully that number 44 machine, not too much damage moving forward here, and he'll still be in contention towards the end of this thing. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Yeah, looked like a light hit there for the 44 with moderate damage. He may have got away clean, but, you know, a tough break for Michael. He'll have to come in, you know, put 4 fresh Goodyears, and if that thing still has a motor, which I think it's going to do, Todd, he may put a show on for us there, charging from the back of this field. The question is, the 15 with the contact there, will he be assessed a penalty? We may see the 15 have to restart here at the back of this lead lap, and I think that's going to be the call from race control. The 15, you know, with this cause of the caution flag, he's got to take it under the longest line penalty. So now we're going to see 2 of the fastest cars out there, Todd, the 15 and the 44. They're going to have to charge in the back. This is going to make for some interesting racing here with a little outside of 70 laps here still to go.
And, you know, that's going to make the 57 of Maverick Morrow kind of happy because he come down pit road. He's going to start more towards the front of the field. He's going to be able to do what he needs to do to save his tires, and a longer green flag run would probably benefit Maverick Morrow because those guys are going to have to steam through the field to try to catch him, and they're going to burn up their stuff.
No, absolutely. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. I think it's going to make for some awesome racing here through these last, 70-plus laps that we're going to have left on the board. We still got more pit stops left to make. These guys can't make it from here, so maybe strategy is going to play a role here later on. A lot left to decide here through the course of the rest of this 300-mile event here at the Kentucky Speedway here tonight. But under the caution flag, we've talked to a couple of drivers. Let's see if we can't talk to one more here on a quick yellow and see if maybe we can't do some self-promotion here in a little bit. Well, let's see if we can't too. Let's see if we can't get the 4 car. Let's see if we can't get GT Irizarry up to the booth and, get a word. It's been a while since we talked to GT. And, of course, that number 4 is something near and dear to me. So let's see. GT, it's Phil from Full Velocity, buddy. Got a copy.
Yeah, 10-4, man. How's it going, bud?
We're doing fantastic. That 4 car, as always, beautifully prepared Ford EcoBoost. Probably my favorite paint job out there, buddy. Having a good ride out there. You've been to the front. You've been near the middle of the field. How's the racing been out there for you so far?
It's fast. I'll say that everybody out here is fast, so you just really gotta, try to hit your marks and hit your line as best as you can. I mean, we're having a little bit of a problem on corner entry on 1, and then in the middle of the turn, it's kind of wanting to snap on us, so we're just kind of being real easy through there. 3 and 4 were pretty good, but 1 and 2, we're having a little bit of a hard time there, so we've been adjusting on it. We'll see if we can't get it dialed in, and just kind of staying out of trouble too.
Well, that always helps. You talk about trouble. We just saw contact on the racetrack between, the 44 of Michael Berg, the 15 of Matt Watkins. Those 2 guys have been up to the front all night. They're going to have to restart deep in the field now. How much down do you look out the mirror and watch for those faster guys behind you? Because they're going to be charging up through the field with a hard head of steam. You got to think those guys are going to be on the charge.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're going to make it up here. I mean, you definitely don't count them guys out, but that's all right. I'm going to try and save some tires here on this get here go, as we take off. But definitely don't want to start down on the bottom. At least I don't anyway. I'd rather have the outside line so I can try and make it hook and stay out there. But hey, thanks for having us out here. Appreciate you guys doing a great job. Just racing for a great cause. So we'll see if we can't get this Ford racing Mustang either up in one of the top 3, maybe a win. We'll see.
All right, buddy. Well, from a fellow number 4 driver to another one, I'll be cheering for that 4, man. So get that thing a good ride, and we'll talk to you again here soon, buddy. Good luck the rest of the night.
10-4, thanks.
All right, GT Irizarry driving that number 4 Ford EcoBoost. Awesome prepared car. But, Todd, we wait for the restart. A new race leader has emerged, the 56 of Adam Samsel, playing a little bit of strategy here by not pitting. He's got a damaged race car. This makes for some interesting restart here at the front of this field. The field off of turn 4 awaiting a green flag.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting as the green flag's getting ready to come out, and Adam Samsel has a lot of rear end damage on that 56 machine. We have to wait and see what's going to transpire here. Adam Samsel, green flag in the air. Maverick Morrow working on the bottom side, and the 56 of Adam Samsel a little slow here on the restart, and now he's staying up on the top side and staying out of the way. Adam Samsel in the 56 is now getting a little bit loose there through the apex of 1 and 2 there, so Adam Samsel out there, damaged car. We know the rear end of that 56, but having a good run. We're hanging on to her in second.
Well, and now as we say that, yellow flag's going to come on the speedway, so maybe with that great save, maybe something happening just after that car caught, tremendous damage to the back end of that thing. You got to believe it is going to be a handful when these things, get dirty air around them. So I'll have to see what happened to bring out the caution flag. Looks like it may have been a stack up on the backstretch. Not exactly sure. We'll let Joe tell that story. I'm not finding it here, through my quick look here. So we'll let him, with the benefit of all the cameras he's got, to take a look at that. What put us under caution flag here? 132 laps up on the board. 210 the main event distance. A multiple car, breakaway in the backstretch there. Looks like a couple, 2, 3, maybe even 4 cars involved. So Joe is going to have quite the tussle to show. All the way on the backstretch there, Todd. You don't think these cars wreck going straight, but, more times than not, professional sim racers, we all are. I think we do as much wrecking on the straightaways going straight as we do turning through these corners at high rates of speed.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the mistakes that happen. You misjudge your front end, and things happen. But we're going to throw it down to Joe. Joe, show us what happened in this most recent caution.
All right, guys, we're going to focus our attention this time on that number 98 machine. That's Brendan Hayes, and that number 4, that white and blue machine of GT Arizari up towards the wall. Looks like Brendan Hayes here just turns dead right up the straightaway. Maybe thought that GT was going to clear him. I don't know, but just hits him right in the rear quarter panel, sends them down the racetrack. One of those top 3 competitors that's been up front all night, and Matt Watkins looks like he's involved in it. GT, just talked with him. Unfortunately, he's got some damage now, and the 98 of Brendan Hayes is most likely going to have a little bit of right front damage on his vehicle as well. So, unfortunate break for those guys. We'll back this up one more time for you guys so we can see this, but just a huge tough luck for GT Irizarry in the 4. Really nothing he could have done about that. He was just kind of minding his own business on the top there, and I don't know if maybe the 98 machine had some trouble there. He just comes right up into the number 4 machine, sends them both down the hill. Great near miss for that number 44 machine of Brendan of the 44. Just huge tough break for that.
Yeah, certainly is a tough break there for the all those guys involved. Brendan Hayes has certainly been involved, but yeah, as you said, GT Arizari, tough break for that number 4. It was keeping it clean, keeping the fenders on. Now maybe a little bit of damage there aboard that number 4. So GT Arizari, Todd, going to have to come in. Hopefully no damage. And looking on and off pit road, and these guys, looking like all these leaders this time electing to stay out. So got some used tires out there. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. Used tires, different tire strategies, different things going on throughout the whole thing.
All right, so we get set, look like Joe having a little bit of hiccups there as we get back under race conditions here. Joe having a trying night down there in the full velocity control room. I think he's probably going to be banging his head against the wall all night long as, everything seems to be going wrong for him again tonight, but doing a great job here. Full Velocity Network breaking out here. Night number 2 for us, getting all the bells and whistles worked out and having a great run here tonight at the, at the Kentucky Speedway. Blazin Pedals putting on an awesome event. The Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Awareness 300 here at the Kentucky Speedway. Been a long night now, 134 laps, a lot of racing left here to go. 210 making up this distance. We saw 2 stages here earlier on. The first one won by Michael Berg. The second stage won by Maverick Morrow. Maverick, our current race leader. Can Maverick make it a twofer here tonight? Can he win 2 stages? Can he be the second winner here on the Full Velocity Network? We know for sure we're going to see a different winner than last night, so still a lot of racing left to go. But the big benefactor of that caution flag there, Todd, Frank Divens fall 2 laps down. It looks like he's going to get that back. He may be back to the lead lap there aboard that number 9. We know he's had a strong run all night long, so this caution flag may have paid dividends for that number 9 machine.
Yeah, indeed. I think Frank Devon's going to be able to work his way back up through. He's had a strong car all evening long, and he's been inside the top 5 in that number 9 in stage 2. I believe we finished up in the 5th position there, Phil. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was Frank Devon's in the 5th position there in stage 2. So he had a solid run here. He may not have enough for those top 3 running guys. But then again, if you don't know Frank Divins, he kind of hides some things, and usually he's there around the end. So Frank's usually pretty good.
Have to see what's going to happen here. Pace car getting set to come back to pit road. Maverick Morrow going to restart as our leader. Adam Sampson, a 56 on the inside. Row 2, we find Craig Meyer, Toby Robertson, Tom Richter, Michael Berg, Dale Lee, Bobby Farrell, Brendan Hayes, GT Irizarry make up our top 10. Green flag, Todd, back in the air.
Yeah, green flag back in the air. This time Adam Samsel restarting on the bottom side in that 56 machine, causing another little bit of a checkup there with everybody behind him, and Samsel drifts up the track in the 56 machine, trying to hang on to the 57 of Maverick Morrow. That time he got through 1 and 2 pretty good. No loose condition for the 56 of Adam Samsel. Down the back straightaway into turn number 3. It's Maverick Morrow, about an 8-car length advantage over the 56 of Adam Samsel.
Yeah, about an 8-car length advantage, as you said. How about the 56 there with the damage, able to keep up there and run in that second spot? That's pretty impressive for Adam. He's got some fast cars behind him. The 88's been quick. The 64 has had a great rebound up to that 4th spot. So hats off to the 56 of Adam Samsel. That car is going to be a handful. And just as we say that, loopy-loop goes around the 56, a little bit loose. Caution flag going to be on the speedway. And that's going to tear up multiple cars there, Todd. Tough break for those guys involved.
Yeah, that's one of those things that happens in racing. He had quite a bit of damage on that 56 machine and just snapped right loose on him. A lot of rear end damage to that 56. It's hard to hang on. I mean, he was doing a good job, and all of a sudden it just snapped loose on him, and that's unfortunate for Adam Samsel. And I believe it collected a lot of fast cars there in that one.
Yeah, 56 went around. The 88 just missed, but a tremendous hard hit. Believe that may have been the 44 of Michael Berg getting the worst end of that. I believe so anyways. Multiple different cars involved. So it is going to be a wild replay for Joe Allen to show off. That happened right on the live screen as I saw it. So, Joe, take us back through that. A wild ride for the 56. And there's some fast tore-up race cars on that one.
Yes, sir, guys. We're going to focus our attention on that number 56 of Adam Samsel. He was running up in the 2nd position at the time of the wreck. Slow this thing down. Just gets loose on the bottom. That rear end damage has a tendency to do that as he spins up the track. Michael Berg just nowhere to go. Hard into the outside wall with the right side of that car. Looks like, I believe that's the number 9 of Frank Divins gets a piece of it with Adam Samsel. And then we see the number 40 machine. That's Dale Lee. Just comes in the end and just finishes off Adam Samsel in that 56. So fortunately, that 56 machine, guys, just bounced around like a ping pong, and that damage and running up front there, it looks like he just got arrow loose and just collected a bunch of cars in a self-spin, unfortunately. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Yeah, there was just more calamity as these guys are coming on pit road there, Todd. We've talked about this access road can certainly play, issues to these guys, and I think we just saw contact there. The 2 of Phil Parker getting loose, and another hit for the 44 of Michael Berg. I'm not sure if Joe wants to go back and try to take a look at that, but as we talk about these access roads, even under caution flag, they can be tricky to hit, and Kentucky is probably one of the toughest there on the NASCAR circuit as far as getting out the pit road, even under caution flag conditions.
Yeah, Phil Parker tried to do his best dirt track impersonation down there. He's just not using the asphalt, trying to use the green grass there, and he couldn't hang on to it there. And you're on slick tires. You're not really on groove tires, and it's very, very difficult once you get off into the dirt or the grass. And if you don't have a lot of dirt background, it's hard to save that.
No, it certainly is. So we'll have to see what's going to happen there. The 44 taking a couple more hits there to the nose. So the 44, we'll have to see if that car has been fast. Is there any more damage? He took a hit there in that wreck. So multiple different cars there, all tore up. So it looks like Adam Samsel's night is going to be done with that hard hit. Phil Parker's car may be all messed up, but looking back to the front of this thing, clean sailing for the 54 of Maverick Morrow. He may be the safest car on the racetrack tonight, Todd. He's led the most laps, and I'm thinking that maybe the story when this thing is done. You don't want to be involved in the chaos. Stay up front. So far, so good for that 57.
The 57 of Maverick Morrow down on, is doing a really good job here this evening. Tony Robison's doing a really good job. Tom Richter's having a good run now, Phil. I didn't get to catch the tail end of what you were saying there, but I know Richter is third. Fourth is 15 to Matt Watkins. I know you were saying the 57 was actually pretty good on the Speedway, and he's been pretty clean and green. It has Maverick Morrow, so Maverick staying unscathed out there on the racetrack. I know the 15 to Matt Watkins has been involved in wrecks. Going to be interested to see what's going to happen to Michael Berg. Berg has had some heavy contact with the wall and some calamity down there on the access road. So Michael Berg has not been in the right place since he's been relegated to the back of the pack, and that's not where he wanted to be. And obviously, a lot of bad karma has happened to him back there.
Yeah, and it probably followed my pick there of him trying to go to victory lane. Frank Divins going to take the wave around, so put the 9 car back on the lead lap. 11 drivers now will stake claim to the same lap as the leader as we prepare for the restart. But Joe, we made our predictions about 35 laps ago. You're going to be liking your pick of Maverick Morrow sitting there pretty right now, bud.
Absolutely. I'm feeling real good about where he's sitting right now. Don't want to jinx him too early yet. We still got a long ways to go. We're getting there. We're getting closer, but he's sitting in a good position right now with some of those other cars, like Matt Watkins and a guy like Michael Berg, who now has some damage from that previous wreck. That's certainly helping his case up there. He's led 66 laps so far in this event, so I'm feeling good about my pick so far, but we'll see. We got a little ways to go yet.
Yeah, a lot of racing left here to go. The lights are out atop the pace car, and we'll turn this thing back under the green flag conditions. Maverick Morrow going to restart with the lead, but how about the rebound for Toby Robertson in that number 64 there, Todd? He's up to that second spot. Does he have anything left to make a run at Maverick Morrow through the last part of this thing? We're about to see green flag about to return to the air.
And green flag in the air. The 57 of Maverick Morrow puts the loud pedal down. The 64 of Tony Robinson down on the bottom side. So we're going to have to see what happens with Robinson as he's down on the bottom side, fighting side by side with Maverick Morrow through turn 2, down the back straightaway. Put Maverick Morrow to the lead. The 64 of Tony Robinson to the second spot.
Yeah, Toby going to settle back into that second spot. Matt Watkins going to fall to third in the 15. How about the run for Tom Richter to 34? He's up to the 4th spot. Does he have anything left to come forward? He'll run the high side, maybe look for a runner on the 15. He'll think better of that, fall back in line, but tremendous run for that number 31 as exit turn 2. As we look up to the front, maybe a battle happening for the race lead. Toby looking a little bit racy there, Todd, down the back straightaway.
Toby definitely looking a little bit racy as he's about 4 car lengths behind the 57 of Maverick Morrow. Now putting on some heavy pressure of Morrow. So we'll see what Robinson can do in that 64 machine. Matt Watkins sitting in that third spot. The number 15, 34 Tom Richter is 4th. 5th is DT Irizarry in that number 4.
Yeah, GT Irizarry, the 4 now up to that number 5 position. Craig Meyer currently 6th, Michael Berg 7th, Frank Divins 8th, Dale Lee down in the 9th spot. Bobby Farrell currently having in that top 10 position as they work their way off of turn number 4. Maverick Morrow still pacing the field. Toby Robertson looking for room down low. He's using every inch of this racetrack, Todd, and maybe a little bit beyond. He's doing all he can do, trying to throw the kitchen sink at Maverick. Nothing seems to be working. That 57, certainly a fast car down the back straightaway.
Certainly a fast car down the back straightaway. And we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen with these guys. I keep saying that, but some of these guys, we haven't seen a lot of these guys up in the top 10 or the top 5 per se, but these guys really fighting tooth and nail coming up through the field, and we're seeing some different competitors come to the top of this track.
No, we certainly are. A lot of guys starting to move their way forward. As we said, Tom Richter is there. Michael Berg starting to march back forward. Frank Divins having a nice rebound. He was just 2 laps down. He's worked his way to the 8th spot. He's trying to pick his way forward. So we've seen some comers, we've seen some goers, but the stagnant up front all night has been that number 57 machine. Matt Watkins also been a player up there. He's currently 3rd, but that race for the lead, Todd, that 64 of Toby, certainly not going away by no stretch of the imagination. Maverick running that low lane, trying to, keep that draft away from that 64. They're going to race for the lead, but now we're racing for the 3rd spot down the backstretch. Here comes Tom Richter to the low side on that 15.
Yeah, Tom Richter down to the bottom side by side with the 15 of Matt Watkins. Watkins drops to the 4th position. 5th right now is the number 4. GT Irizarry now all over the rear bumper of the 15.
So as field works its way through turns number 3 and 4, off of 1 and 2 rather there, as I get all crossed up on ends of the racetrack, just looking down through some notes here to the point standings of the series, trying to just give some different nuggets and some feels here as the field working its way through turn number 3 and 4. Toby Robertson trying to do all he can to work his way around that 64. He's been trying the low side. How much do you think, Todd, the 64 is using up his tires trying to run low the way he's starting to run?
You got to be burning up your tires a little bit down on the bottom side, but Toby was quick all the first half of this race in the stage number 1, and he was able to use the bottom side to his advantage. I'm not sure. I mean, it's got to burn up your tires quite a bit. Michael Berg in the 44 had to use the top side. It looks like Maverick Morrow used the middle to the top to try to save his tires, but Toby Robinson is able to work over the bottom side here and to perfection, where a lot of these guys haven't been able to.
No, they certainly haven't, so we'll have to keep an eye on how much is the 64 using up those tires. We certainly, we thought maybe some damage may have slowed that car down a little bit. Well, looking like the answer to that is going to be no. The 64 certainly get a tremendous amount of speed left in that thing. Maybe the best challenger that Maverick has right now in that number 57. So Toby is on the move in the 64. He is right there. Those two cars are broken away from 3rd place running the number 34 of Tom Richter. They've got a full 1.2 seconds, so it's about 15 to 16 car lengths between 2nd and 3rd. Top 2 running away from this thing.
Yeah, definitely top 2 running away from it here at the Kentucky Speedway. As we flash by and complete lap number 151, we're starting lap 152 of 210. Maverick Morrow is leading down into turn number 1. Toby Robertson in that number 64, excuse me, is in that 2nd spot. Is still running pretty good, but it looks like he's going back and forth a little bit. Looks like the alien's trying to duck him here at the Kentucky Speedway. I'm not sure what's happening to that number 64 machine, but Maverick Morrow still leading, 64 having a little bit of an issue. The number 4, so I'm looking through the field as we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. Not sure what's causing some of the issues here with our games on our PCs. But the 57 of Maverick Morrow is Phil had to run out and grab a hot dog or something from a beer vendor or a hot dog vendor. I'm not sure. He was somewhere out there. He seen something interesting. I know he said he was hungry there, and maybe he wanted to go grab a hot dog or a beer or something up here in the booth to make this race go a little bit long. And I know Kentucky has some pretty good beer down there. Had them a couple of times before. So the 57 of Maverick Morrow, still your current race leader. Looks like the 64 has slowed down a little bit there, and it looks like he's been straightened. The alien's not going to deduct Toby Robinson there. And that number 64 machine, he's still running in that 2nd spot. 3rd is the number 34, Tom Richter. 4th is GT Irizarry, and 5th is Craig Myers. 6th is Matt Watkins. 7th is the number 44 of Michael Berg, and he's, man, you can just hear it. He's down on power in that 44 machine. 8th is the number 40 machine of Dale Lee, having a good run.
Yeah, certainly is having a good run up to the 8th spot. Michael Berg's car looks like, as you said, down on power. One thing I observed there, Todd, as I tossed you a cold beer up here, is I had to take a quick run there. I was a little bit of poached, so we get back to it. But the observation I make, I went away there, and Matt Watkins was up there racing, for the 3rd spot with Tom Richter. Matt has fallen out all the way back to the 6th spot. Looks to be fading a little bit. So thinking, are the tires burning off the 15, or is Matt Watkins in typical Matt Watkins form? Is he saving anything left for the back half of this run? What do you think?
He's trying to be a little bit sneaky. I'm not going to give it out to him, but it seemed like he was clutching a little bit. I'm not 100% positive what was going on. His yellow flag flies out there at Kentucky Speedway once again.
Yeah, yellow flag out on the speedway, looking to see where this may have happened. So just trying to see what may have happened here to bring out the caution flag there, looking like somebody was down on the apron, got a little bit loose, trying to find what car that may have been to help Joe out. I saw the 98 car, was a little bit loose down on the apron, but not sure it was enough to bring out the caution flag. So I'm going to take a look at their start. I'm going to try to help Joe out. I know Joe's going to try to work out some stuff in his end down there during this replay as well. But what did you see out there? What brought out the caution? I'm not seeing anything as far as somebody around in the wrong direction. So what did you see out there? Did you get a look at it?
No, I was up towards the front of the field. I really did not get a look at it. I was trying to review it going back through, but I didn't really see anything what was going on. I see a lot of these guys down on pit road, but I'm not sure, Phil. I'm not. You said you didn't see anything? I didn't see anything. Joe is down there looking for that replay right now, so hopefully we can see what goes on.
Drivers, to your cars.
Yeah, I'm getting a word from I'm trying to get a whole touch at race control. I'm not sure exactly what happened to bring out that caution flag. I saw the 98 car loose. I didn't see him go around whatsoever. And what the race control is, debris caution. So we're seeing a debris caution out there. Didn't think we saw anything out there, but I guess race control saw something they didn't like on the racetrack and started putting a yellow flag out on the field. Was looking like we were going to have some great racing there, Todd, and old Jacques Debris shows his ugly head again. It's a very first for us here on Full Velocity. Debris cautions, man, something you don't see very often, but creeps up and gets us here again.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Somebody probably threw a bottle of water or something out on the racetrack. Who knows what kind of debris was out there? I didn't see even the debris, Phil. I was looking all over the track and seeing nothing out there. So we'll have to wait and see what happens.
All right, well, we're under caution. We're going to let Joe work out there. He's trying to get our lap counter back on us down there. It's just been a trying night for Joe down there after a flawless evening last night. Working out some of the bugs and whistles here. Night number 2 for the Full Velocity Network, trying to set a new standard here, as far as sim race broadcast goes and bringing you the ultimate esport experience. But under the caution flag, a guy we always get hyped up for to talk to, anytime on the airwaves. Let's talk to our buddy Bobby Farrell, the 45. Bobby, it's Phil for the Full Velocity Network, buddy. How you doing this evening?
I'm good, Phil. How are you guys up there in the booth?
Well, it's been a trying night for us up here in the booth. Joe's been having a whole bunch of issues down there working out. We've been having some issues up here, but you've had some issues tonight as well. I've seen you cut the grass. I've seen damage. Been a trying night for you out there in that pink Chevrolet there tonight, buddy. Tell us about your night so far.
It's been a challenge. Got caught up in a couple wrecks in the first part of the race and, decided to cut some grass. It looked a little long, so I didn't think the grounds crew was doing a good job, so I tried and help them out a little bit.
Well, and I saw the water bottle come flying out the old 45 car, so what was the reasoning for throwing that water bottle out and bringing out this debris caution? Because you're a guy not known to do stuff like that, so something must have been pressing for you to throw that water bottle out the window. I think we got that on camera there, but what'd you do that for?
I just figured a little bit of a challenge, get everybody caught back up again and, try and make a race out of it.
So you've had a solid run. You're in the top 10. You've got some damaged pieces around you. You may contend for a top 5 finish. You got any of the car left to maybe contend with those top 5?
I'm hoping. I mean, I've been running top 10 all night, so, a couple more cautions. Pit strategy works out, might be able to sneak out a top 5 out of this.
Well, Bobby, you got 50 laps left to go there, buddy. A lot of racing left to do, so keep that 45 pointed forward. Yeah, it's painted up all pink tonight. That thing looks awesome, man. Give it a good run, and good luck the rest of the night, buddy. Good to talk to you.
Thank you, Phil.
All right, Bobby Farrell out there on the 45, a guy who, never shy, Todd. We know Bobby a long time. He knows the TV cameras are on. He's always one of those guys, hey, give me a shout out, look at my car, whatever. So great to talk to Bobby here on Full Velocity. I accidentally took care of my broadcast partner. I throw it to him, and as I'm doing the interview, directing traffic, I moved the wrong guy out of the broadcast booth. I was going to keep Bobby interview commentator there, Todd. Sorry about that. Was trying to direct traffic and just moved you straight out of the race control. But let's get ready for the restart, man. Sorry about that. We're just having a whole calamity issues here tonight. Green flag back on the speedway.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out where I was at there for a moment there. Not sure why I was kicked down to the race room. I was listening to some interesting chatter down there, but the 64, meanwhile, up front is the 64 of Toby Robinson is in the top spot. Second right now is GT Irizarry. Third is Maverick Morrow. Fourth is Matt Watkins. And sixth right now on the speedway is the number 88 of Craig Meyer. As we did get the scoring and timing reset out there in the YouTube chat box for the leaders and the current race statistics. Unfortunately, we cannot get the lap counter, and I'll do my best to relay the laps to you guys. But it says it actually says race completed. That is untrue. I think the aliens have messed with Joe's system down there, and they're actually calling for the white flag. So I'm not sure what's going on with the controls down there. It's unfortunate. It's an old control system, and the bugs have always been there, and it's unfortunate. But hopefully we can get that fixed sometime, Joe, and the aliens stop messing with your stuff.
Yeah. You know, that would certainly make life a lot easier down here for me in the booth, but you know what they say about new adventures, it's all about trial and error, and you know, this is the second time we've been on, and there's been a lot of trials, and tonight at least there's been a lot of errors, but we'll get it cleaned up, we'll get it fixed, you know, we'll get everything situated and working the way it's supposed to be. Luckily, the timing and scoring is working, which is good. It's just a matter of the lap counter being off, and as you said, we're waving the white flag just a little bit, but we're still going to keep chugging along for these guys. They're putting on a great show for all of you guys out there. We're trying to not miss any of the action and show as much as we can for you guys as we see that 57 machine, guys. My pick, he's moving forward. He's looking to hunt down that number 64 machine and get himself back out in the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just so impressed, Todd, by the resilience of that Toby Robinson machine tonight. Was a lap down, was damaged, got a lucky dog at the halfway mark, and wasn't sure he was going to be fast enough to contend for a race win through the last part of this race, but he's found his way to the race lead, and he's making it tough there for the 57 of Maverick. He can't find way around this time. Looking like clean air on that nose is certainly, giving these cars a little extra advantage. Toby's found that clean air, and he's making it work for him.
Yeah, meanwhile, Toby's making it work for him, but Maverick Morrow down to the inside. He wants that lead back in that 57 machine. He's going to be able to do so here down into turn number 1, I believe, here momentarily. Almost touching the apron. He's going to drift up the track just a little bit as Maverick Morrow got a wee bit loose. Here comes Matt Watkins. Watkins way down on the bottom. He's on the apron 3 wide down the front straightaway.
3 wide as they put 167 laps up on the board. 210 making up the distance, so we're getting down to the final stage of this thing, and how about the run from Matt Watkins, making it 3 wide to the inside. He's going to make that pass work all the way from third to the lead. Is it going to stick? Here comes the 57, Todd. Great racing among these turns, top 3 guys. Maverick to the low side, maybe looking back to reclaim that race advantage.
As they flash by the start-finish line, completing lap 167, now on 168 of 210 here at the Kentucky Speedway. The 57 of Maverick Morrow is your current race leader, fighting tooth and nail with the 15 of Matt Watkins. Watkins now drops back to the second spot. He's under fire once again from the 64 of Toby Robinson in that 64 machine. As he's down to the bottom side there, side by side to turn number 3. Watkins has it. Robinson wants it in the 64 machine. Now, GT Irizarry peaks to the top side of the number 4 machine as we flash by the complete lap 168.
Yeah, how about the rebound for GT? He had some savage hit there a little while ago. That 4 car, no worse for the wear. He's up to that 4 spot. He's trying to move forward. Does he have a run left to maybe make a run to maybe win this thing? We're going to find out here as we wind down. 4 getting a little bit loose there off of turn number 2. Looking like it was a case of aero tight, the car turning up to the wall, and that last second you try to steer that car out of a push, you can steer it a little bit loose, and that's what happened to the 4. He loses a little bit of ground, but it just shows, Todd, as these cars, wear off the tires a little bit, the handling on these things can get kind of evil. It got evil right there in that 4 car.
Yeah, definitely got evil for GT Arizar, as he did say he had a little bit of an issue there, trying to get through that corner there. He's good on 3 and 4, but 1 and 2 is he's been struggling all evening long, and he's still struggling down there in 1 and 2. As now we come down through 3 and 4 here, momentarily down the front straightaway. Still, your race leader is the 57 of Maverick Morrow, the 15 of Matt Watkins running in that second spot. Toby Robinson is still running third, but he's all over the rear bumper of that 15 of Matt Watkins. He's trying to make something happen there. He now peaks to the high side. Now it looks like he's almost going to go to the low side. Stays in the tire tracks pretty much for the 15 of Matt Watkins. There's a little bit of warp job there coming down into turn number 3.
Yeah, it looks like the 64 may have been bouncing around a little bit there, currently in that third spot. So, hopefully that thing will stay smooth, as we're going to put 172 laps to the board this time around. So getting inside these last 35 laps or so to go, under 40 for certain, as they work through turn number 1 and 2. The 57 of Maverick Morrow has got a 3-car length advantage over Matt Watkins, another 3-car lengths back to Toby Robertson third, and about 5-car lengths back to the 4-car of GT Irizarry. Those cars are broken out for the field. Currently in that 5th spot, 2 seconds of the rears is Craig Meyer in the 88. He's falling back a little bit. 4-car breakaway at the front of the field.
Yeah, 4-car breakaway. That was a complete lap 172 of 210. 173 up there now. The 15 of Matt Watkins in that second spot. The leader is the 57 of Maverick Morrow. Here comes Toby Robinson down to the bottom side. He's trying to work over the bottom. He's trying to get through everything he can at the 15 of Matt Watkins. Not able to complete the pass here through 3 and 4. Morrow drifts up the track as he's a current racer. Drifts up the track, almost flirting with that outside wall.
Yeah, flirting with the outside wall, as you said. Was those guys at the front of the field all chasing now that number 15 of our 57 of Maverick Morrow as they're racing up front. Great run by Maverick so far. Looking up to the front of this field, 174 laps going on the board now. Last time around, we peak. I'm just kind of peeking back through the field, trying to update where everybody may be. Top 4 have certainly broken away. GT Irizarry now trying to maintain steady with that top 3. Maverick Morrow, certainly a solid race car, very, very smooth. Car does not seem to be getting tight whatsoever. That clean air on the nose certainly working. But now the thought of the matter is, Todd, with 175 on the board, 210 is the distance, you got to almost be thinking about 10 laps. We may see the fuel window open for these guys to make it here for one more stop. So what do you think? Are these guys going to run this current cycle out full of fuel, or do you think these guys start thinking about coming to pit road as soon as that fuel window may open up for them?
Yeah, I think you're going to see these guys try to run it dry here and try to make it the rest of the way. The 57 of Maverick Morrow in the top spot, the 15 of Matt Watkins running in that second spot, and these guys trying to work all over each other. But Watkins seems to be a little bit faster in the middle of the corner off, but it just seems like Maverick Morrow just really strong down here in 1 and 2.
Oh, he's strong in 1 and 2. He's strong all over the racetrack. But looking at that race for the second spot, Toby giving Matt all he can handle in that battle for second. Toby trying to look racy again, back to the low side. Now this time into turn 3, he'll peek to the outside, give a little bit of distance on corner entry, but he's really making up some time on corner exit. He pulls right to the back bumper as those guys, all the way down to the flat surface down the front stretch here, trying to just cut the course, if you will, through that, little sweeping, front stretch that they have here at Kentucky. Those guys trying to do all they can do, but not one of them has a run to take at that 57. He's just got the field at bay and doesn't seem to have any kind of pressure at all behind the wheel of that number 57 car, Todd.
Yeah, no pressure for Maverick Morrow. We're coming up to complete lap 178 of 210. 179 going to go up on the board, so this will be lap 179 to 210 as we're trying to figure out what's going on here out there on the speedway. I know the race, it says race completed, but we're trying to keep you updated out there in YouTube land as much as we can of what's going on here with the laps, all the racing ordeals, as you guys can see on the screen. Here comes Toby Robinson down to the bottom side once again. This time he might have enough momentum to complete the pass on the 15 of Matt Watkins. They're side by side through turn number 3 and off of turn number 4. Matt Watkins has one whale of a time in that 15, and he's up on the top side, so he's able to complete the pass once again and hold off the charges of the 64 Tony Robinson.
Yeah, and he's just keeping that pressure on to the high side, to the low side. Toby trying to find all the way around. You got to think he's going to be abusing his race car some. 180 laps on the board, so 30 laps remaining here in the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer 300 from the Kentucky Speedway this evening. Great event put on tonight by our friends at Blazin Pedals. You know, Tom Richter did such a tremendous work here. This race is very near and dear to him, very personal. So, you know, hoping we're doing it justice here tonight. Here is now yellow flag, guys. Yellow flag coming on the speedway at lap 181. So we'll have to see what happened here. But it takes that guesswork out the window, guys. Are these guys going to open up, you know, start pitting when the fuel window opens up, or, you know, is somebody going to play a different strategy? Are we going to see 2 tires or 4? You know, Craig Meyer said, you know, you got to stay 4 tires, but kind of throws all that out the window, guys. Yellow flag on the speedway, and still not seeing, you know, looks like the 44 may be the cause of the caution flag. So Michael Berg's night, Todd, it was really good early. It turned a little sour through the middle. His night has turned downright awful here in these last 100 laps.
Yeah, it definitely has turned downright awful as I'm trying to get back into the booth here and get it all randomized here. But I'm going to throw it down to Joe Allen, who has the replay queued up and ready. What happened there, Joe?
All right, guys, we're going to take a look at that number 44 machine of Michael Berg coming off of turn 2 here. We're also going to focus our attention on the number 98 of Brandon Hayes. So they both come off of turn 2 here. Looks like Michael starts to come up a little bit, washes up the hill, gets into the side of the 98 up there against the wall. That spins both of those guys around, back up into traffic. Looks like Bobby Farrell there in the 45, unfortunately, gets a little bit of contact with the 98. He ends up getting himself through this accident. Michael Berg spins down the speedway a little bit. Looks like Brendan Hayes in the 98, probably the unfortunate benefactor. He's going to come away with the most damages. He was involved with some heavy contact down the back straightaway as well. So looks like the 44 car just came up the track coming off of turn 2 using the banking and the angle of the incline change off the corner. Just ran up and ran out of room with a car outside of him, tagged him, and the two of them went around through a spin cycle. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Yeah, just a little bit of spin cycle, as we said. So now with 183 laps on the board, Todd, all these race leaders have found their way to pit road, all taking 4 tires. Is it the last time we've seen these guys on pit lane?
I think it's going to be one of the last times you see these guys on pit lane, unless another yellow flag flies. Then you might see them take 4 tires once again. Tires are a good issue here to have. I mean, you go down, take 4 more tires, and come out, and you're going to be a lot faster out there on the track. So, yeah, I mean, you got to conserve those tires. But I'm seeing Maverick Morrow clutching it already here, so I'm guessing that he's going to try to stay out.
Well, he's got a fast race car. You're going to think, is he going to try to stay out? 183 on the board, 210 the distance. You know, my math serves me right. That's about 27 green flag laps. The fuel window looking to be right about that 27 to 30 marker. So maybe right on the edge of making it all the way from here. But I'm going to think these guys are probably, you know, especially the leaders, I think they're done coming to pit road. I'm thinking if we see a yellow in about 10 to 15 laps, you may see the back part of the top 10 all dive onto pit road, take fresh tires. At that point, you really got nothing to lose and try to make a run at this thing. But I'm thinking for our top, you know, 3 or 4 especially, Todd, I think we've seen the last of them guys on pit road tonight.
Well, I think they can come back down and fix some things and get some more tires here. If you see them with 10 to go, with 15 to go, even that, Phil, I think if you see them come down pit road, you're going to see them come down on yellow flag. If not, you've seen the last of them, like you said, out there on the speedway. But you can't give up them tires, but you also can't give up that coveted track position too. So we'll just have to wait and see how this is going to play out. We are on lap 184 of 210 here at the Kentucky Speedway.
So what do you think, Joe? I'll ask you this question, being a racer in your own right. I know you've had your hands full down there tonight, but I know you love talking race strategy. So what do you think? If we see a caution about a dozen laps or so, do you think we've seen the last of our leaders on pit road? Is there anything to lose at the back half of the top 10 by maybe coming in at about 15 laps and taking fresh tires and making a run to the checker?
I would absolutely take that gamble. I mean, we talked with Craig earlier, who stayed out on just 2 tires after a long green flag run, and he said he got 8 up. So I think if you get through, you know, a dozen laps here, I think maybe some of the guys towards the top half of the field may want to take a gamble and a risk on it. Some guys may come in to take 4, some may take 2, but I think the consensus would be to definitely come in and take tires. We've seen tire wear. There's been fall off as far as, you know, what the lap times have been for some of these guys as they continue to put laps all over the racetrack. So I think if you get at least a dozen laps in, I would expect to see a bunch of guys come down pit road and take tires.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I'm thinking if even the yellow comes out in about a dozen laps, I'm thinking even if I'm up front, I got to have tires. I think it's going to be the way to be. I don't know if you want to be stuck out there naked, Todd, at no tires at all. I'm not sure what's a gamble I want to take, even giving up the track position.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to give up that track. I mean, it depends on who comes in. I mean, I would give up some track position, take 4 tires if it's 10, 15 laps in. If it's 5 laps, I'm going to stay out there and not give up track position.
Well, let's see what's going to happen here as the lights are out atop the pace car. We're about to get this race back under green flag conditions. 185 on the board currently. We'll clock up 186 when they hit the line. It's going to be Maverick Morrow, Matt Watkins on the front row, Toby Robertson, GT Irizarry, Tom Richter, Craig Meyer, Bobby Farrell, Dale Lee, Brendan Hayes, and Michael Berg making up your current top 10. Green flag is in the air once again.
And green flag is in the air. Maverick Morrow and the 15 of Matt Watkins. Pretty much a simultaneous start for those top 2 guys. And they're side by side coming down into turn 1. Watkins has the advantage here. Maverick Morrow up on the top side. Watkins drifts up the track in front of the 57 of Maverick Morrow. Morrow hits the wall just a little bit there, coming off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. So does the 4 car of GT Irizarry.
Yeah, the 4 car was up in the outside wall. He hit it harder than the 57. Didn't break the momentum at all, but you got to think there's got to be at least a little bit of tire rub there on the right side of the 4 car. Currently still in P4 as they hit the front stretch toward the start-finish line. As they hit turn 1, the 15 car of Matt Watkins running the low side. The 57 of Morrow, he was up high in the corner. He swung it down to the low side. Drag racing on the backstretch for the lead. Drag race for third. Who's going to get fried as they hit turn 3?
The 57 of Maverick Morrow right there into the top spot. Looks like he's going to round the 15 of Matt Watkins there. Put Matt Watkins to that second spot. Tony Robinson in that third spot. 4th is GT Irizarry, but now battling back down to the bottom side is the 15 of Matt Watkins. They're still side by side through turns number 1 and turn number 2. Down the back straightaway, still side by side. Nobody's giving an inch there. Morrow almost flirting with disaster, hitting that outside wall in that 57 again.
Yeah, almost, putting that right side up against the wall. He may be finding some traction and some speed up there, but man, it's a dangerous move running up so close to the wall. You can hit it, you can just ruin your night, and he's found speed in the outside lane all night. He'll make that pass, put the 57 now back out to that comfortable lead. We know that car is like clean air all night, so maybe that may be the winning move of the race right there. It remains to be seen. 189 on the board, Todd, as they hit turn 3.
Got 189 on the board, turn down into turn number 3. It's Maverick Morrow by about 3 or 4 car lengths over the 15 of Matt Watkins. Toby Robinson still running in that second or third spot. He's all over the rear bumper of the 15 of Matt Watkins for second, trying to make something happen here. And that number 64 machine now down to the bottom side once again, trying to get around Matt Watkins. Not able to do so here through 2 down the back straightaway. Again, GT Irizarry running in that 4th spot. 5th is Tom Richter. 6th is Craig Meyer. 7th is Brendan Hayes in that number 98 machine. 8th is the 44 of Michael Berg. Phil Parker is 9th. 10th is Dale Lee. 11th, Bobby Farrell. And rounding out your top 12 right now, the cars running out there on the speedway is the 9 of Frank Divins. 1 lap down.
Got 1 lap down is that number 9. All chasing the 57 of Maverick Morrow. Now inside of 20 laps remaining. 191 laps on the board. Does anybody have that last charge left? Matt Watkins currently 2nd. Toby Robertson right there 3rd. I think those 3 may be the top class of the speedway right now. Does Toby have a last run to make on that 15? Does anybody have anything left for the 57, Todd? The field working its way down toward turn 1.
I'm not sure if anybody has anything for Maverick Morrow. The 34 of Tom Richter up to that 4th spot in the number 34 machine is now 5th running. GT Irizarry now back to the 5th spot in that number 4 machine. So we're on lap 192 of 210. We got about 18 laps to go here at the Kentucky Speedway. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to play out. Who has anything for Maverick Morrow? Does anybody out there on the Speedway have anything for that 57 machine? Watkins has been able to pull up alongside of him, not been able to complete the pass there in a long green flag run. He's been able to stay with him, though, in that 15 machine. So how much is he really saving?
Well, not sure if you have anything left to save. I'm not sure now is the time to be doing so. Does anybody have a late run at that 57 car? I'm not sure. I think Joe is comfortable with his pick tonight. I thought the 50 was a good pick. The 64 has had a really game night. He looks like he may be poised to contend here to finish on the top 3. Don't count out the 34 of Tom Richter. He's had a solid night. He's kept that car mostly clean, and as we get to the end of this thing, of course, he was our Segment 2 champion here in the Blazin Pedals Monster Energy Cup Series, so he won Segment 2. He's certainly a contender here, having a good run, but now racing for that 4th spot, as here comes the 4 car of Irizarry. He was looking to the low side, so maybe GT's not done yet. They're taught about 15 laps to go.
Yeah, I don't think GT's done in that number 4 machine. He's able to get through 3 and 4 a lot better than he is 1 and 2 in that number 4 machine. So 1 and 2 is this corner he struggled at all evening long. So look for him to get mount a charge or any type of pass, usually in 3 and 4 in that number 4 machine. But Tom Richter all over the rear bumper of Toby Robinson, trying to get to that 3rd spot as Robinson was trying to fend off and trying to fight the 15 of Matt Watkins. But I'm telling you what, Tom Richter is a man on a mission right now in that 34 machine. He's all over that rear bumper of Toby Robinson.
Yeah, he is all over him, as you said, like a cheap suit at this point, all over the back bumper of the 64, not letting Toby have any breathing room at all. Toby trying to play offense and defense. He's trying to make room around that 15, but you can't open the door because that 34 got a strong race car as well. So at this point, Todd, if you're the 64, what do? You want to play offense, but you got to be, cognitive there and play defense. You don't want to give up that low side this late in the race.
I definitely don't want to give that low side up this late in the race, as the 34 now tried to go back down to the bottom side, but Robinson able to slam that door shut on the 34 Tom Richter. Richter's pretty quick right now in that 34 machine. I think he has something for the 64 and the 15. I'm not so sure, though, if he has anything for that 57 of Maverick Morrow, as he's trying to set sail and ride off into that sunset.
Well, he's certainly doing that as they hit turn number 3, 197 up on the board. We'll put 198 up there next time around. So the Dirty Dozen here, 12 laps remaining in this Making Strides 300. Everybody now, looking like they want to run that low side of the racetrack down the front straightaway. Everybody trying to do all they can to maximize that run. It helped the 15 this time around there, Todd. He was able to cut off probably about 3 or 4 car lengths. So maybe the 15 of Matt Watkins may have a late charge left. He's now pulling his way up to the rear bumper. We may see a race for the lead here before too long.
I definitely may see a race for the lead here. So Matt Watkins is actually, like you said, Phil, he's coming in pretty strong on the 57 of Maverick Morrow. Morrow running down on the apron. A lot of these guys starting to run down on that apron on the front straightaway there, trying to make sure they hold off and fend all these charges off. They're going to make you pass on the outside, and that's where Berg said that you're not going to be able to make that pass. He says it's so hard to make a pass up there. He said the bottom side is the preferred groove. And we'll just have to wait and see if one of these guys can mount any more of a charge on Maverick Morrow. But Morrow right now, about an 8 car length advantage over the 15 of Matt Watkins.
Yeah, right there on the tire tracks, we put up on the board an even 200. So going to be just outside of 10 laps to go here at the Kentucky Speedway, 1.5 miles around D-shaped oval here, the Kentucky Motor Speedway. The top 3 all single file. The race is for the 4th spot. Here comes Irizarry. He's got that Ford rolling there, Todd. Change for 4th as they hit turn 3.
Irizarry in that number 4 machine. He's down to the bottom side. The 34 Tom Richter's up on the top side. But Irizarry able to complete a pass here down to the start-finish line. He's right now in that 4th spot. Not ahead by much, but I believe Tom Richter may have burned his stuff up just a little bit. Now 34 trying to get around the 64 of Toby Robinson. Robinson and the top 3 have set sail. Those guys trying to run away and hide from the 34 and the 4. And the more that they battle side by side, they're going to see those guys ride off into the sunset also.
Yeah, you can see that on the screen. What was about 6 car lengths is now to about 16 to 20 car lengths. As those top 3 have pulled away. The 34 using the outside lane, able to pull his way back around the number 4, so put Tom Richter back up to P4. But as you talked about, Todd, as those guys race side by side, those top 3 have run it off and hid. Now with about 8 laps remaining at Kentucky, they've got a full second advantage over the rest of the field. So it looks like it may be settled here amongst our top 3. They're exiting turn number 4 as we speak.
Down the front straightaway, Maverick Morrow has a .287. Let's see what this time by brings him. It is now a .238. So Matt Watkins really starting to cut into the lead of the 57 of Maverick Morrow. Toby Robinson is still only half a second back. So these guys really strong here towards the tail end of this race, and this clean and green stuff is really playing into the hands of this top 3.
Oh, it certainly is. That battle for 4th, though, heating up once again. Here comes GT back on the charge. That battle just won't go away. They're seeing the chances of winning evaporating, but they're going to try to race for 4th amongst themselves. GT back to the low side. Tom trying to move the momentum of the high lane once again. Tom going to drive it deep into turn number 1. He'll slide up the racetrack. That opens the door for the 4 car. He'll slide up the hill as well. He'll complete the pass. Almost a little bit loose there. 4 car Todd had to catch it. Almost went around. Here comes that 34. Great racing for position number 4. They're in turn number 3.
Definitely great racing for position number 4. The number 4 of GT is already now in that 4th spot. So he's going to try to do everything he can to stay in front of the 34 Tom Richter. And then you're looking at Craig Meyer. He's trying to get into that fray, but he's quite a ways back in the number 88 machine, but running solidly in that 6th spot. So we are on lap 205 of 210 here. Stuff is starting to heat up just a little bit. Matt Watkins starting to click some time off of Maverick Morrow, now down to .206. So he's shaving off just a little bit every single lap in that 15 machine.
Yeah, he certainly is. And Toby's starting to fall off a little bit in that number 64. He was all over the back of those 2. He's falling now back about 6 or 7 car lengths down the front stretch as they hit turn number 1. So Toby's starting to fall back a little bit. Matt Watkins starting to creep into that lead. You know, it was about 3 car lengths. It's down to about a car length and a half now as they're catching lap traffic. The 45 of Bobby Farrell up ahead. How much will lap traffic, impact till the end of this thing?
It looks like Bobby Farrell going to pull up out of the racing groove here and let the 57 and the 15 by. These guys racing pretty hard for this top spot here. If these guys get battling, I believe Toby Robinson will be able to come right back into the picture. Now .123 between the 15 of Matt Watkins and the 57 of Maverick Morrow. As they come down the back straightaway, Morrow trying to slam the door shut on the 15 of Matt Watkins. Watkins trying to work on the bottom side of the 15 machine. Morrow still holding on to the lead as he presses that much harder into the corner.
Yeah, and about to complete lap 207. We'll put 208 up on the board as they hit the start-finish line. So looks like about 3 laps remaining here at the Kentucky Speedway. The Making Strides 300. Can Maverick Morrow make it back-to-back segment wins here, stage wins here tonight? He won stage 2, looking to make it a sweep here in stage number 3. Can he go to victory lane? Can Matt Watkins pull up and make alongside? He's had the great run here through these last 10 laps. Does Toby Robertson have anything left in the 64? He's able to chop that advantage back down. These guys in the top 3, Todd, still all racing hard. 2 to go at the line.
Yeah, .099, a popsicle 6 in the air for Matt Watkins and Maverick Morrow. Morrow right now your leader. Look at Toby Robinson in that 64 machine. He's pulled up back into the fray. .355 back. He was all over the rear bumper of the 15 of Matt Watkins. Does Matt Watkins have anything left here for Maverick Morrow? As it looks like Morrow starting to drive away just a little bit through 3 and 4 here. Looks like Matt Watkins almost hitting that wall there. He's going to lengthen the lead just a little bit on the 15 of Matt Watkins. White flag in the air, white silk. One more trip around the Kentucky Speedway, Phil.
Yeah, they're going to exit turn number 2 for the last time. The 57 using the lower side of the racetrack. Does Matt Watkins have one more run here left to make down the backstretch? He's going to look to the low side getting into turn 3. Maverick going to slam the door shut. Matt getting a little bit loose. That may be the race right there. Off of turn number 4, Maverick playing defense, checkered flag in the air. Maverick Morrow going to win the Making Strides 300 at the Kentucky Speedway.
Matt Watkins going to bring it home second. Third is going to be Toby Robinson. Fourth, the 4 of GT Irizarry. Tom Richter finishes 5th. 6th is Craig Myers. 7th is Phil Parker in that number 2. Good run for Phil Parker in that number 2 machine, finishing up 7th. Brendan Hayes 8th in the number 98. The 44 of Michael Byrne finishing 9th there, respectively, after all that contact that made. He brought it home inside the top 10. And 9th, 10th is the 40 of Dale Lee. 11th, the 45 of Bobby Farrell. And Frank Divens in 12th is all I can really see here I'm not sure what the other guys were. I know there's a few guys. Dakota Wilkins was out of the event here early. So was Sean Case and a couple of the other guys there, Phil.
Yeah, what a tremendous race for these guys as well. Hats off to these guys at BP tonight. What an awesome job. What an awesome race. What an awesome event there is. We'll flash that link there to donate to the American Cancer Society one more time before we get off the air here tonight. But transitioning toward the post-race show, what a dominant performance by Maverick Morrow tonight to put it into victory lane. Great run from Matt Watkins, making one last charge there at the end, falling just one position short. He'll finish up second, and a great rebound run for Toby Robertson. He'll finish up third tonight, so we'll see if we can't get the top three all squared away as we normally do here as part of our post-race show. Looking for, not sure if we have contact with Matt Watkins tonight or not, but we're going to have to see if we can't get a hold of the 15 cars. We may have lost Matt from the server, so we'll have to see if he comes back to us. But Todd, I'm going to throw it down to you. I believe you're going to be first up on the deck and talk to our third place finisher, that being Toby Robertson in that number 64.
User was moved to your channel.
Yeah, yes, indeed. I have caught up with driver of the number 64, Toby. Great race here this evening. You had a lot of trials and tributes trying to get back up through the field. I know you had some issues there in stage number 2, but you brought it back and was able to have a solid top 3 finish there, Toby.
Yeah, our team certainly dug deep, and we were able to pull out a top 3. It almost feels like a win. It was incredible.
Yeah, you were mired a lap down. What were you thinking there through that stage number 2 there? You were mired a lap down. You knew you had a competitive car because you showed really, really competitive there in stage 1. And then stage 2, you went from being really competitive to being one lap down, trapped a lap down. What went through your mind of how you were going to pick your way back and try to get back up to the lead lap and maybe even the top 5 there at that point?
Well, the way the Monster Energy series works, knowing those cautions are going to come between the stages really helped me plan out my strategy there. I was just going to bide my time, hopefully not damage my car any more than I already have, and try to put myself in position for the lucky dog on lap 100. We came up a little short, but we still managed to get back on the lead lap, and we were full sail from there.
Well, you can't ask for any better of a finish. You were competitive there at the end. You were able to run with Maverick Morrow and Matt Watkins and all those guys up front there. But Toby, I have a question. How bad did those tires fall off? It looked like those tires, you get about 15, 20 laps and they're just gone.
Yes, Kentucky ate up the tires very, very badly. You really had to know how to drive the track, and definitely was hard staying up there in that top 3. Near the end, guys were slamming down the walls a little. I think the top 3 all creamed the wall at one point or another.
Well, Toby, I'm going to give you the microphone, and the floor is all yours. Thank you. I would like to thank you this evening.
First of all, I'd like to thank all the drivers that showed up at 25 car field. All of them donated to this great charity, the Making Strides charity, and I just cannot be more happy with the way this race turned out. 210 laps, that's a lot of laps for a typical run here at BP, but they came through, had a lot of green flag runs. I'd like to thank Full Velocity Network for putting on a great show. I know you were probably struggling through your technical issues as well, it seemed. But I am excited to get back into racing this third segment. This was our opener, and we race here on Thursday nights, Monster Energy Cup Series. You saw it, so please come out and help support us.
Well, again, that's finishing up third here tonight, Toby Robinson, and that number 64 machine. I'm going to throw it right to victory lane. We could not find Matt Watkins anywhere. He hightailed it out of here. We're going to throw it down to victory lane right away with Joe Allen and Maverick Morrow down there in victory lane.
Absolutely. Caught up with my old buddy Maverick Morrow, running that number 57 Oreo machine. He's missing one of our favorite team logos on it, unfortunately, but that's all right. Maverick, congratulations. Dominant performance tonight. Triple-digit laps led compared to the rest of the field. You seem to be out there on rails, buddy. You had the setup figured out, you had the line figured out, and you had the track figured out. It looked really well, and it looked good on TV too, buddy. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, thank you. Had a really good night. Kind of struggled in the beginning, actually. Felt like, was lacking a little bit of speed there for the first stage. Made some adjustments to my driving style and the line I was making. taken, and really seemed to help me out there after that. Once I started changing my lineup, really found something that I liked. Made a couple little mistakes, got into the wall a couple times, had some slight damage. Thought Matt was gonna get around me, but I was able to hold him off with a little bit of blocking. So just hard racing there at the end. Got to thank him for running me clean at the end and letting us to both bring it home in one piece.
Yeah, definitely. Really hard racing towards the end of that. Tell us a little bit about how the tire wear was. It looked like, Todd touched on it a little bit earlier. The tires looked like they fell off anywhere from 12 to 15 laps into a run, and arguably this is one of the longest runs you guys had all night beyond the green flag pit stops you had earlier in the race. So tire management definitely played a role in the end of this thing, and just some good blocking by you with under 10 to go there to hold on for this win. But tell us how bad the fall off was and how challenging it was having a guy like Matt Watkins behind you breathing down your neck for those last 15 laps.
Yeah, it was really easy to burn the tires up if you went too hard in the beginning. In that last run we had there, Matt and I were both running it pretty hard there, trying to battle for the clean air basically, and so ran them a little harder. They would definitely it'd get wicked tight late exit. If you push the tires too hard, it was it wasn't real bad for cooking the right front, but you could definitely cook the right front if you weren't careful.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Maverick, congratulations. You're the second winner on the Full Velocity Network. Not a bad accolade to put on your belt and remember down the road when we continue to do these things. But I'm going to hand the microphone over to you. I know there's a lot of friends and family out there that are probably watching that you want to thank for getting you here, and anybody else that you want to thank. The mic's all yours, buddy.
Yeah, I got to definitely thank my wife for allowing me to do this, and just really want to thank all the admins here at BP for putting on this great event. And thank everybody here. I know that this is new to you guys, but appreciate you guys putting this on for us. Everybody that's helped with painting the truck and our car and everything else. So it's just a good group of people. Glad to be a part of it and looking forward to the future.
All right, guys. Well, that's our winner from down here in our Full Velocity Gatorade Victory Lane. Maverick Morrow went out there. Dominating performance tonight, guys. If anybody deserves the win, it's definitely him. Hard-charging Matt Watkins came up just a little bit short. Unfortunately, we couldn't catch up with our second-place finisher tonight. We'll try to get with him next time, maybe if we see him again here on the Full Velocity Network. But Todd, Phil, definitely a race of attrition. This is arguably one of the longest races as a crew we've done in a very long time. And to do it on our second show here on the Full Velocity Network, I'd say we have a lot to be proud of, some things to work on that we'll continue to do as we move forward with this. But back up to you guys in the booth. I'm going to go dry off. I got Gatorade all over me.
Well, all right, buddy. Well, great job down there. It's been a trying night for all of us. I think all three of us had hiccups at one point or so or fashion tonight. So thanks, everybody out there on YouTube, for sticking with us here tonight. It's been a trying night. It's been a night of learning for us. Our second night out after a near flawless show for us last night. If it could happen to us this evening, we encountered it. We're going to overcome it, and we're going to provide the ultimate esport experience here, bringing broadcasting to a whole new level, as only we're going to do on the Full Velocity Network. But Todd, it's been a busy couple of days. We get to pause and pull back for a couple of weeks. We get to pay a visit to TDR here in a couple of weeks to go back to Indianapolis. A couple more visits on the SRA 711 Super Truck Series also coming forward. Also dates at SMO scheduled. So got a lot of stuff coming down out of the gate, and dates are filling up fast. But we invite more leagues to come in and want to showcase what they're all about. I think that's going to be one of the great things over the next couple of months. See all our old friends we haven't seen in a while. Maybe see some new visitors we haven't seen in quite a long time. So a lot to come here for us here on the Full Velocity Network.
Yeah, definitely a lot to come here on the Full Velocity Network. Again, some of the guys' positions that we picked here this evening. Of course, Joe had Maverick Morrow. He won this evening. I had the 15 of Matt Watkins. He got second, and Phil, you got ninth. The current point standings for the broadcasters is for everybody to know out there, and I'm going to try to keep this up to date as quickly as I can throughout all the season. I am now the points leader with 83. Phil has 78, and Joe has 78, so they're both tied for that second spot. So I guess the next broadcast I get to pick last, guys.
Well, going to be no living him over these next couple of weeks till we get back on the airwaves. Saturday night, July the 22nd, the Brickyard 200 for us here. The Apple Collision Center Premier Cup Series by TDR Racing will be out there at airtime 9 p.m. So look out for us here. Head over to the website, fullvelocitynetwork.com, and get your league scheduled on the Full Velocity Network. So until next time, for Joe Allen doing a great job in the control booth here these last 2 nights, for Todd Stanton, my partner of a long time alongside, my name is Phil Lacasse. Thank you out there, everybody, once again for all the support. Thanks to everybody who's been able to get us on the air here this last couple of days, and we'll see you here in a couple of weeks, live for another edition of the Full Velocity TV. It's the Full Velocity Network. Good night, everybody.